So it's going to be seen from both ends for the Hollywood Master Blasters. You mentioned the importance of a first game, getting your campaign off in a winning start. 7th in the Western Division last season, bottom last for this Master Blasters. Wins they were able to pick up. So they need to improve on that and need to improve quickly against the defending champions.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy coming off a 2-win season and playing the defending champions first up. But good start there, actually. Just hitting a good length. Doesn't seem like there's too much in the wicket and not a lot of swing.
Yeah, you need to operate there if you're the Master Blasters. A man of the ability of Unmuk Chan can't afford to get it wrong. He's someone that's so quick in terms of pouncing on that length. We saw it in the first over, just the delivery. It was too straight and he's able to flick it, then too wide outside the off stump. And he was also able to put that away for a boundary. So he's already up to 9, Chan. I think that's probably where you want to operate early on. Fresh start to the tournament on a good length.
Yeah, that's 2 good deliveries actually by the bowler. It's actually quite impressive. Having somebody leave in T20s doesn't happen too often. So that just goes to show that it's actually hitting some decent areas.
Here was the last delivery again. And you can see they're operating on that good length, forcing Unmuk Chan not to take too many risks. Wide down the leg side, we'll have to rebowl that one. But the Master Blasters, consistency will be needed. They really struggled in 2021 with the bat in hand. They weren't able to post substantial totals in the off-season. They've gone to get resources in terms of with the bat, but I think it has to start from right here in this first 6 overs. You need to take wickets early on and eat into this Silicon Valley Strikers lineup. Oh, you can see they're making him play wide outside the off stump, but the umpire signals are wide. Almost carried to slip that one. Just getting a bit of away movement to Unmuk Chan. It's wide place. Nisar Patel standing at slip. If you're now joining us, the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, live of course on Willow TV, MLC Network. So excited to bring you over 200 matches in this tournament. Again, hint of that away movement, another wide delivery, so just struggling to find that bit of consistency, that rhythm.
Yeah, he started off well in the first 2 balls, but just losing his way a little bit. I think that's, you know, just can't imagine there's been too much practice going in on this surface.
Yeah, Unmuk Chan, he's not going to mind that too much. Seeing those deliveries, no real risk, bonus runs. Have to keep it very tight. So it's been a pretty good start for the Valley Strikers. And again, on the wrong line. You can see the intent though. They're trying to go wide to Unmuk Chan, bring that slip in play, but also make it difficult for him to score. But you have to get it within the line. That's 3 wides in consecutively now.
Yeah, and losing probably the swing and the seam off the ball as well.
Look at where the keeper's collecting that, almost in front of Patel at slip. Shows you how much the ball is doing early on. Well, this time straight, and this time runs by Chan. Should just be 2. And so Unmuk Chan already looking so at ease at the crease, not too bothered, hasn't really been challenged by these 2 opening seamers just yet.
Yeah, it doesn't look there's too much bothering him at this stage. He's not really getting any, he's not getting 2 or 3 balls in the consistent areas for him to actually struggle with it. So he's easy just leaving and just picking them off pretty easily.
Full, getting a bit of that away movement. And Unmuk Chan unable to pierce the infield. Another wide. That's 4 in the over now for the Hollywood Master Blasters. Can't afford a team as dangerous as the Silicon Valley Strikers. You really can't gift them any runs. Have to earn them. And I think even though the intent has been right, they've just erred too much on the wrong side of that wide line.
Yeah, in the end, you have to get it right. Certainly in the first 6 overs, this is not gonna bother the Strikers too much, obviously, and it's just a matter of getting it right for Hollywood. They need to try to pick up. You never know if something happens in the next couple of balls.
We mentioned those new options that they have, the Hollywood Master Blasters, that they brought in 3 new players for them in this tournament. Much better, much improved line, straight at Umuk Chan. Dot delivery, over still going on. It's been a very long one because of those 4 wide deliveries.
Plenty of stretching going on for ODI umpire Vijay Mallela. He's got those hands going out quite a bit.
Well, in the air, but it will go over the infield. Fall into no man's land. Very fortunate. Umuk Chan didn't time that one well, but he'll get one to end the over. So an eventful start to proceedings in this first matchup of the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. So it will be the Blasters again looking, still searching for that first wicket in this minor league championship. Of course, presented by Sunoco. Really great to have them on board.
Just makes it so difficult for the bowler. If one bowler is bowling pretty well from one end and one's having a little bit of a trouble, there's no real pressure getting put on the bowlers, or getting put on the batters rather. So this guy really needs to come back here and have he bowled a decent first over. Let's see if he can kind of bring it back. Bit of a run up here, 30-yard run up. Love it.
Yeah, we do tend to see that in the modern day. Extremely long run-ups.
Played.
Misfield, so they may just stick for one. Good throw though, hits the stumps direct, but Umuk Chan well safe. Yeah, you mentioned some of those newer options that they've brought in, the Hollywood Master Blasters. Timur Patel, the leg spinner, he's the main one. He comes into this, 18 wickets for the Surf Riders last season. He's been a big addition. Pretty good economy rate as well, less than 7 and over. So he, at some stage, you expect to have an impact, a role to play. Quick single stolen, has to hurry, but direct hit. I think he got home quite comfortably in the end. Good running by these two. They're continuously putting the pressure on the Master Blasters.
Such a key element to cricket is the running between the wickets in every format, if you see it, but more so in T20s. Got to rotate the strike if you're not getting boundaries. Just takes that much more pressure off. Rotates the strike. Bowler has to bowl to a different batter. Great stuff.
Yeah, they're forcing him back, Umuk Chan. I think that's where you need to be. You have to be, if you want to be straight, you have to be on that sort of good length, even if you are on the shorter side. Anything full, so strong down the ground. So he will punish you, Umuk Chan. He's gotten away with that. Oh, no, he has an inside edge. He'll go over the keeper. But there is that fine leg fielder in place. 1 of 2 outside the circle. So just be a single. Could have easily been a wide had he left it, Arch Bush.
So it's got up off the surface and gone over the keeper. Indicates there might be a little bit.
Again, not really up the middle from Umuk Chan. Just be Another dot, so much better over. And you mentioned at the start of the over, you need that partnership bowling. You need to have two seamers, especially in the power play where margin of error is so thin. You need to have two bowlers that are able to put the pressure on from both ends.
Yeah, if you think about what, as a batter, what bothers you is two consistent bowlers and bowling in a consistent spell.
Ends another economical over. A decent start for both these teams, but we're pretty happy with things at the moment. Live at Woodley Park, Los Angeles, the start of this minor league weekend. Well, what's going to be an eventful 2 months in the minor league. So much cricket to be played, so exciting. We also have action happening all around the country. We do expect to have our scores up for you very soon, just working to rectify some technical issues. It looks like Nisar Patel, the left-arm spinner, who's going to come into the attack. Of course, USA national team player, 21 one internationals, 12 T20 internationals for Patel. Such an economical piece. And this is something we've seen him do over the years as he's grown in his career. Both crucial overs, especially in the power play for the USA. So need to strike early, the Master Blasters, and they've gone to Patel. Interesting option.
Yeah, I think, they just want to kind of stem the flow and get a bit of consistency. They could probably just bowl to one side, if anything, but, still in the power play. So it'll be interesting where Nisar kind of lands the ball, if he's going to go full and see if there's actually any spin in the wicket. I would think that he's going to probably try to bowl a little bit fuller, see if it goes and try to pack a field.
Just before Patel is ready, obviously Zubin, we've got over 20 teams in action today. On Saturday, getting their minor league season underway, and one has already won. Atlanta Fire picking up a victory over the Fort Lauderdale Lions. So exciting stuff at the moment for the Fire. Good to see that they've off to winning ways. A team that was in the reckoning for that minor league last season fell short in the conference finals. So Patel with his left arm spin from around. Starts with a much flighted delivery to Arch Bush. Well, how is that? Excellent delivery. Seemed like it got some purchase off the surface. Spun away from the right-hander. Nisar Patel's not a big turner of the ball, but that was interesting.
Quite wide of the wicket. There's a little bit of turn there. It's a fantastic delivery. It
was a gorgeous delivery, actually, from Nisar Patel. Flighted, got a bit of that drift with the arm. And this is a really interesting approach. Another delivery which goes straight to the fielder, but Nisar Patel is usually someone that's very quick through the air. In the power play, though, the first two deliveries we've seen, he's been much slower trying to get something out of this surface.
Yeah, I think it's working for him, too. I think there's a bit of purchase there you've seen so far.
Again, keeping Arch Bush on his toes at the moment. This is a really good comeback over from Nisar Patel. Just what the Master Blasters would have needed.
I think something's happening here.
Was that pad first? They're appealing, they're asking the question, and given the first wicket for the Master Blasters, exactly what the captain Cody Shetty would have asked for. Nisar Patel, the left arm spin, an orthodox option, comes into the attack and takes the wicket. It Well, they just straightened on Arch Butch, probably looking for that turn he saw early on, but instead went straight on to the pad, and Arch Butch got to go. Big wicket for the Master Blasters, the Silicon Valley Strikers. Off to a decent start, but Arch Butch caught leg before by Nisarg Patel.
And that actually goes to show.
This angle here that they have on TV is not how we can't see anything, so I don't know if you can change that to the ground or change it to something else, but it's not really doing anything. They have this same illusion. So the new batter in Shehan Jayasuriya for this Silicon Valley Strikers team. A man that really packs the punch, former international player for Sri Lanka. Such a skillful player, Jayasuriya. And did the bulk of the scoring for 500 runs in the 2021 season. He'd be looking to get off to a good start as well.
Yeah, similarly, I think he's been in decent form. Obviously coming off a successful season last year. Interesting to see the left-hander versus left-hander, left-arm spin versus left-arm batter, and if he decides to take him on. Talking about how important it is to bowl consistently, and that's, you know, within 4 balls, Nisarg's picked up a wicket just from bowling consistent balls.
Well, Jayasuriya, wow, that's electric. Sweeps the first delivery. He's not wasting any time. Shehan Jayasuriya into the act straight away with a boundary. So a wicket falling in the last over for the Silicon Valley Strikers. Shehan Jayasuriya already off the mark for this Silicon Valley Strikers team.
Nice positive shot too off the left hand. Bowler Nisarg.
Good Yorker, really good Yorker to start. They'll get a single, but that's where you want to hit. Those are the areas for the Hollywood Master Blasters. A look at that last over from Nisarg Patel. He took the crucial wicket of Arch Butch. Leg before. It was one that just seemed like it went straight on, and Butch got some bat on it, but it was pad first. Umpire sent him straight away.
I think that was the lead up of the previous 2 or 3 deliveries. He's just getting that length, just going on with the arm a little bit, and a couple of balls that did turn, put the batsman in a bit of a second guess position, but fantastic.
Yeah, got a ripping spin delivery, the second of that over, which just completely bamboozled Butch past the bat. So that would have psychologically played in his mind, probably led to his demise in the end. Well, is that bat on it? No, umpire not interested. Bat may have just touched the ground. Shehan Jayasuriya looking to drive, still want to make the most of this power play. Just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. Yeah, definitely no bat on that. Just a bit of an ambitious appeal. Can't fault them, the Master Blasters. They've gotten a sniff of the wicket.
And I think the wicket has helped now, you know, to calm the things down after the first few overs. A few wides. This bowler's come back on from another end. Looks like he's a bit more suited here.
A loud appeal, the full toss crashed into the pad, but wonder where was that impact? Was it outside? Leg by signaled Just wonder, was it outside the line?
Bowlers seem pretty convinced there. They always do.
Well, you know, any fast bowlers who went from your time playing the game, it's very hard to be a batter in this game. The bowlers, they go out for anything. Try to rattle the umpires.
Yeah, not a fan of the bowlers. Always looking for the way in. Can't blame them. The modern game is a bit harsh on them, I must say. Flatter wickets and going after. I think we saw the score in England the other day.
Yep. Yeah, much better from the Master Blasters. Still working to rectify that score for you. If you're now joining us, the start of the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. The Silicon Valley Strikers up against the Hollywood Master Blasters. Both teams, of course, coming off of up and down season last year for the Blasters. Just 2 wins for the Valley Strikers while they were champions, the first ever of the minor league. Over the top by Unmuk Chan. Over extra cover. Doesn't really time it well, but he has enough on it to get into the boundary. Beginning to now open up the Silicon Valley Strikers.
Yeah, it didn't need to take too much with the restrictions of the bowlers. 2 fielders in. Just had to get it over the 30-yard circle. He's done that effectively. And this outfield, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, it's pretty hard and fast, so anything just over is going to run.
It is extremely quick, and that's another reason why I was kind of surprised that the Master Blasters didn't opt to bat first on this surface, look to get off to a good start and set the tone with the bat in hand. Instead, won the toss, bowled, and so far, so good. You could say they've taken a crucial wicket of Arch Butch, but this partnership was what they'll need to break if they are the Master Blasters, because Unmuk Chan is not a man who scored 591 runs last year. He's not a man that you want to let get away. Average over 50, 5 half-centuries, 1 century for Chan. Bit of extra bounce. The 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championships presented by Sunoco. 5 overs done and dusted here at Woodley Park.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom.
Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
So back at the Woodley Park ground in Los Angeles, a good start for these 2 teams looking to get underway with a win. The Silicon Valley Strikers, defending champions, and what a resounding win it was for them last year. You can see the score has come up 31 for 1 after 5. Unmuk Chan has started really well with his 19. Shihan Jayasuriya just come to the crease, but he'll have an important role for this team.
Yeah, actually, I don't think that's a terrible start, to be honest. They've kind of almost navigated their way through the power play with 1 over remaining. Just a bit of another change here. Looks like the left arm spin. Just a 1 over for Nisarg. Interesting that they've just kind of gone without. Picked up the wicket, but probably a smart move in the end.
So it's going to be Karan Viradia for the Hollywood Master Blasters into the attack for the first time. They have to finish this power play well. They've done well to keep them at a run of ball, especially with Unmuk Chan at the other end. You feel good about that, but you've got to make sure you finish well. Just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle, remember. So first delivery full on the money, but he does have the long on in place.
I think it'll be interesting to see how they navigate this last over in the power play. I don't think they'll go after it too much. They might just try to get what they can. They're not going to go too crazy. Look to capitalize as the game goes.
So, of course, the title sponsors, presenting sponsor Sunoco, be with us for the entire journey of this 2022 Minor League Cricket Championships. Jayasuriya will be so important. 2 things in this batting lineup. Really showed his experience in the finals weekend last year in North Carolina. Different conditions, different challenge. Immense heat. Cover, but doesn't time it. We have seen the batters so far. They haven't got much out the middle, including Unmuk Chan. So it tells you that maybe the surface is a tad on the slower side, and it could be why, Zubin, they've opted to bowl first.
It seems like a good decision in hindsight. I think if you take away a few of the wide balls, take away some of the wide balls early, they've actually been pretty good. Get out of this over less than 40 in the power play. That's pretty reasonable for batting, for winning the toss and putting them in.
Oh, what a delivery. Gets it to just spin past the outside edge of Shahan Jayasuriya and could have easily taken the edge. Very good bowling by these spinners for the Master Blasters. We've seen two on display in terms of Nisarg Patel and now Viradia. Bowling around the wicket, trying to angle the ball in and let it spin away from the left-handed Jayasuriya.
Hands on head, absolutely fantastic ball.
Should just be a couple runs. They have the two in the deep, long on and deep mid-wicket. So with the ball spinning in to the left-handed Jayasuriya, pretty conventional field for the left-arm spinner. Interesting decision as well, though, of Viradia, given the fact that you've got the left-handed Jayasuriya on strike. Swept off the pads, but just over the man at square leg. Gets away with it, just a single.
They're pretty even at this stage.
Ends the first over, 32 for 1. Well, look at what's transpired so far. You can see the only wicket to fall, Arch Bush, but Unmuk Chan is just above a run on the ball. He's got off to a good start, set a platform in the first 6 overs.
Crucial the next few overs. It's going to be interesting to see how both of these guys accelerate. They probably have an idea of what they want to get out of this score. You know, in excess of 150, 160, I would hope, which means it's 110 or so in the next 15 or 14. So they're going to have to kind of figure out what their batting lineup is and who's going to be the one that's going to do the bulk of the scoring. But obviously, with these two there, anything can happen.
So for the first time today, Timur Patel, the leg spinner, into the attack. Starts with a good delivery, just gets the outside edge, but no slip in place for the Hollywood Master Blasters. Still working to rectify that score for you. Timur Patel comes into this team, you mentioned 18 wickets in the 2021 season. Very experienced player, Zubin.
Yeah, I've seen Timo many times, and it's just a guy who's just consistent. It's not easy being a leg spinner, but that's the consistency that he has. He's obviously experienced. He's just going to kind of hold down an end and good single there. But yeah, just Timo's obviously have a bit of experience. He's played for the U.S. You know, it's a good addition to this team, and he's going to come in and kind of, you know, just that's what an experienced player does. Stabilizes the team. Just has that calming effect. He's also good with the bat, so I think it's a good addition for them.
Another big sweep attempted from Jayasuriya. He likes to play that slog sweep early on in his innings, especially these fuller deliveries. But fortunately, Patel gets away with it. He's a lot slower through the air as well, Timur Patel. So you have to be careful in terms of where he pitches the ball. Gets it wrong, Jayasuriya should just be a single. So score moving along nicely here. Probably ideal for the strikers that they build that platform, Zubin, for maybe the last 5 overs. You look at the hitting that they have to come. Narsingh Deonarine, who with his experience, former West Indies player, Gary Graham and Roshan Primus. Those 3 will be so crucial towards the lower order in terms of, well, the end of the innings.
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. They have a good kind of lower order that's going to be able to hit the ball. I think you're probably going to target, you know, 10 to 12 runs and over in the last 6 to 7, which will get them above that. So they have time to just kind of build the middle of the game period, get themselves in a good position.
Gonna look to sneak a quick single. Unmuk Chan does that, just one in the end. But spin working well for the Master Blasters. We've seen 3 options. They've all 3 been reliable. End of this 7th over.
Skip. 5 minutes down. Deep square leg, please. No, stay. Huh? No, it's fine, rest. Good point. 5 minutes down, captain. That's your leg. बराबर जा मत आंटी रे मैं थोड़ा इधर से
A lot of batting to come for this Silicon Strikers team. I think Rahul Jariwala didn't come at the top of the order. I'm interested to see if he doesn't open the batting, Jariwala, what role will he play? He's still to come. A lot of batting still for this Silicon Valley Strikers side. Nisarg Patel back into the attack for his second. We saw him get that crucial wicket of Arch Butch early on in his first over, struck in the power play. And I like the fact that he's operating with that slip in place.
Yeah, he seems to have a bit of purchase. You know, you don't normally see a slip in the T20 too often, but obviously there's a bit in it, and I like that. I think there's a bit of pressure on the batter. It's not, the wicket's not extremely flat at the moment. There's a bit in it. There's a bit of purchase there. So I think it's a smart move on Nisarg's to just have that. So he's got that one.
Yeah, but we are seeing considerable purchase, and it's got awareness from Patel. He's gone much slower in terms of his pace, and it's allowed the ball to actually spin. This has got awareness from one of your more experienced players. You expect this from a man like Patel in this Master Blasters team. No appeal again. This time though, maybe bat and then pad.
Up, Amy, you up. Huh? No, 45.
Yeah, that one just kind of going on with the arm. I think it's good to see this. It's a bit of a competition going between the two. Mukht hasn't been able to just get too clear and too, you know, he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm. He's just had to run a ball or so.
Yeah, very important that they keep him quiet. They want to get his wicket though. Comes down the track. Good adjustment in length from Nisarg Patel. Jayasuriya came down, pulled the length back at the right time. He's a skillful bowler, Nisarg Patel.
He's just able to keep them pretty quiet at this stage. I think that's, I like the exchange of what they've been doing with what Cody has done with the team. Kind of brought bowlers from one end, changed them over, had one over spells. I think I like that. He hasn't been, you know, he's trying to find, you know, he's trying to find something that just get them, you know, just not get them into a rhythm of down the ground.
Good full delivery from Patel to end the over with a dot. So another tight one. They're keeping them controlled at the moment, the Silicon Valley Strikers. Well, look at the bowlers used thus far. Just working to rectify that, but you can see Timur Patel, he's bowled an over. 2 for Nisarg Patel.
Keep going, Timmy.
And 3 spinners into the attack. Viradia, Patel, and then of course Nisarg Patel. 2 seamers up front were expensive, especially Hamad Sahid. Went for 14 in his first 2, but he'll have a part to play, you think, in the last 5 overs. So Patel will continue. Timur Patel this time. A lot of Patels in this Master Blasters team. Comes down the track, that's big. Has he got enough of it? He has. It's going to be the first maximum of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Championships for the Silicon Valley Strikers, and it comes the way of Shayan Jayasuriya.
Good use of the feeder. He's looked positive right from ball 1, and this is a good option. Always good to get a bit of pressure on the bowler in the first ball. That means the next 5 balls he can kind of pick and choose. So good positive movements to the ball. Obviously turning the ball into Jayasuriya. And he just hit that one over.
Let's go, lads. Let's go, lads.
So Shayan Jayasuriya, just for a while, you just felt the pressure was just getting to him. A goes again. Has he got it again? He has. It's back-to-back sixes. Timur Patel very slow through the air. Jayasuriya getting to the pitch. And we're now beginning to see a kicking of gear too by the Silicon Valley strikers.
Yeah, I think he's sized them up here. It's going to be tough for Timur to come back at this stage. Just use his feet again down the track and hit this one a little bit straighter. Nice movements. 12 off 2 balls. It's amazing what a couple sixes can do in T20 cricket.
Well, great start to the over by Timur Patel. That's going to be more runs in the way of extras this time. I think it's down the leg side. It's going to be a wide, so 2 wides. And already, all of a sudden, after a couple economical overs, they've already conceded 14 in the first 2 deliveries. 50 comes up as well for the strikers.
Quickly, we talk about momentum changes. This now is a kind of a momentum change in the batting department for the strikers.
Yeah, I think the line has been a bit off from Timur Patel. And very straight. Shayan Jayasuriya has arms to go through. Saw those first 2 maximums, but that's the luxury you have when you have wickets in hand. You can bide your time early on and really accelerate as the innings progresses. Jayasuriya now really coming into his own. Glimpses of what season in the finals weekend especially.
Shabba, Timmy. Shabba, boys. Keep going, lads. Let's get one here, boys.
It's nicely played back.
Come, lads.
That's good. I think Unmukt obviously sees that his partner is going after a little bit, doesn't need to do too much.
Unable to beat the infield that time, Unmukt Chan. The interesting thing is that prior to this over, in the 3 after the power play, they only conceded 7 runs, the 2 spinners into the attack. This was the over though that the distance. To play it very late, Chan. Bat first, definitely. So ends the over with a good delivery, Timur Patel, but an expensive one. At the end of 9 overs, the Silicon Valley strikers have gone past 50 and well on their way.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your trousseau, the 2022 Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
We're back with the action, and Shayan Jayasuriya looking to really up the ante for his team. Unable, missed out on that occasion. Likes to use his feet, Zubin, to come down to the pitch of the ball, especially against the slower spinners, and it's worked so far for him. Yeah,
I think so. I mean, obviously he's going to take advantage of a ball coming into him. You know, Timur bowling leg spin, and obviously Nisar with the left arm spin going into the left-hander. If there's a bit of a change coming at the next over. And it's allowed Unmukt Chan as well to be able to play himself in. He's had Jayasuriya, who's taken the pressure off of him, been able to find the boundary. All of a sudden, that run rate has now gone up to close to 6 and over. It's much more the region that they want to be in, the Silicon Valley strikers, but they've got a lot of power to come. Wickets in hand, so important. Getting some serious turn, Nisar Patel. Yeah, I think the wicket's posing a little bit more challenging than we probably expected. I think that's important that the 2 batters that are in now, assess the conditions, understand what they think is going to be a winning total, and not leave it to somebody else.
Zone the trap again, Shayan Jayasuriya gets it in the gap as well. Through cow corner, he's so proficient in that region. And it's now really coming into his own. We saw 2 sixes in the last over and a boundary to start this one.
Yeah, I think Shayan is just, he wants to get a few away. He knows that he's going to take advantage of that. Again, using his feet. His feet just picking it off.
Well, mishap in the middle, but luckily for Jayasuriya, fortunate to get home in the end. He's really looked to bring, you can see that extra bit of intensity though since he's come to the middle, and this is what they've needed just to kickstart the innings. They were only scoring at 6 runs and over, just under 6 runs and over in that power play. You don't expect that with just 1 wicket down. So it was tight bowling from the Master Blasters. That counter attack, Jayasuriya's brought it. Just be another single. Chan has been quiet.
Yeah, I think he hasn't really been able to kind of just get stuck in with this wicket and figure out what pace and what momentum he's got to go with. But in the end, they're 58 for 1.
Of course, the Silicon Valley Strikers, the Lakshmi team sponsor, Lakshmi House of Spices. Good to see that they've also got a bit of extra sponsorship after such a successful season. Ends the over, and Nisar Patel, another economical over for him, 58 for 1. So Seam back into the attack after 4 consecutive overs of spin. Cody Shetty looked to put pace on the ball, looks to try to break this partnership, which has developed nicely for the Silicon Valley Strikers. Partnership worth 43. Majority of the scoring is done by Jayasuriya, who's brought that bit of extra intensity to the middle since he's come out in the 5th over. Omuk Chan just times it so well. Again, you can see, but straight to the fielder. Has happened a couple times today where we've seen balls well struck, well timed by Unmuk Chan, but straight to the fielders.
Yeah, we've seen so far that he hasn't really been able to just find the speed that he needs off this surface. But still out there, still battling.
Really short delivery. Look at the extra bounce on that occasion. Almost like a tennis ball bounce. He's going to have to reball that one.
Yeah, I think he's almost hit his feet there. I think going way over.
Some steep bounce. Wow. You just saw how it elevated itself from the middle of the surface. Wonder if that's a sign of what could come later on today. 2 games, of course, on this pitch.
Certainly a challenging wicket, especially that ball previously. That's probably just in the back of the mind of the batters. You know, what's coming next, what's happening. It's probably why Unmuk is just being a little conservative. Again, they're probably just assessing the situation and what score they want to actually get. You know, maybe 160, 180s off the cards now, and they want to get something that's a little bit more, you know, 145, 150s.
So 1 of 4 games happening at Woodley Park this weekend. Of course, premium coverage coming to you on Willow TV and the MLC Network. Every weekend, they're going to be going around to different places in the United States. I find it such a captivating idea, bringing that extra bit of coverage and exposure to the local talent in the USA. Again, another quick single. Good running by. Went to the danger end, called straight away.
Once again, he's been very good in that department. I think if it's important as a batter, if you're not getting the boundaries and not being able to get the ball away easily enough, definitely just drop and run. If you have a good non-striker and near and two, it's an easy way to just kind of keep rotating it.
He's got bat on that one, cut it well past the point fielder, and it just comes back for 3, Unmuk Chan. Sorry, 2, beg your pardon. So He's hit the ball well. That's been the funny thing about this innings. But sometimes we know, especially on a slower surface like this, where we've seen the ball really stick in, taking a while to come onto the batters, been hard to find boundaries. He just hit 3, which came in the first 3 overs. Since then, he's been happy to knock it around. Shanjia Surya has been the main aggressor in the partnership. Another wide delivery. Extras have been a problem to win for the Master Blasters. Up to 9 already.
Yeah, definitely not going to help, and certainly not in this heat. Anybody who's out there, we're in a nice air-conditioned room here, so not feeling it, feeling good, but the guys out on the park there, definitely going to be every extra just causing that much more pain.
Well, again, another single misfield.
Easy.
Chan playing it safe at the moment, not opting to take that risk. Of course, another one of our sponsors on board for this minor league season, DAFA News. Good to have all your up-to-date cricketing news and global news on DAFA News. The 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. So excited for what's to come. Over 200 matches coming to you in the course of the next month and a half. Wow, after last year, can it be better? You bet it can. Looking to get a bit nifty with that scoop. Shehan Jayasuriya, but unable to make contact, so it ends the over. Much improved for the Master Blasters. We're inside the second half of this innings. Will bowl his 4th and final over. Has been very economical option for Cody Shetty. He's been sparing with his use. 3 overs, 14 runs conceded, as well as a wicket.
Yeah, interesting play this. 11 overs gone, and Nisarg's gone. He's getting into his 3rd over now. Gonna leave too much at the end.
Interesting choice though by Shetty. This one over extra cover, just to be another single. Very interesting choice by the captain Shetty to bring Nisarg Patel to bowl his final over now, and it tells you the importance of this partnership at the moment. They want to break it. Shehan Jayasuriya and Unmuk Chan both have gotten starts, so we know the danger of 2 experienced international players.
No, you're absolutely right. I think it's a bit of a gamble, obviously, to choose to bowl him out at this stage.
Zubin Sakari, the former international cricketer. Zubin, I hope you enjoyed your first commentary stint, man. So far.
Challenging for sure. I've had a couple experiences in the past. I did a few 50-over games. Not by choice.
Yeah, here's a quick single. Again, good running by these 2 throughout the innings. And here, perfect that it rolled right after, because Unmuk Chan and Shehan Jayasuriya both bring that extra bit of intensity. Is what you expect from your experienced players.
That's good running. Unmuk's done a really good job just to get between the wickets. You know, more, we talked about it earlier, but just more so when the boundaries are not coming. It's just good to keep the score ticking over.
Good delivery from Patel. I think it's sensible, would be sensible to just see this over out if you were the Silicon Valley Strikers. You don't want to take too many risks against Nisarg Patel. He's been the main attacker for this Hollywood Master Blasters team.
Yep, absolutely. Saw that the other day in one of the games, and I was like, why wouldn't they just one of their top bowlers, you know, with a couple balls left in his spell, ends up getting a wicket trying to heave him over the top. It's probably just smarter to just get through the next couple overs, next couple balls, and just see him off and target somebody else. So I think both these batters are obviously seeing that his spell is about to end.
I'll have to reward that one, Patel. Extras have been a major problem for this Hollywood Master Blasters team. Interesting to see the other options that they go to. Already 5 options used for Cody Shetty, the captain. You can see just looking to bowl wide to Shehan Jayasuriya, making him reach, but in the end, too wide on that occasion. And Dr. N. So Nisarg Patel's completed a very economical spell. 12 overs done and dusted.
Let's go. Get in position. Faster, Cody. Still behind us.
Just a quick look at the Hollywood Masters stats there. And decide 2 overs, 12. Ahmed Saeed 2 overs, 14. Nisarg Patel bowling really good economical spell. Just the 1 wicket for 14 runs.
So Seam back into the attack. Chan likes to be innovative. You can see there, that look to the heavens is a sign of the adversity he's faced in this innings. Unmuk Chan hasn't been his normal fluent style of play. We usually see him in that power play in the first 6, be able to attack, really be able to find the boundary. But today he's struggled. What I like about it though, he's not thrown it away. It's been responsible so far from the captain. And again, it tends to happen, Zubin, you would know from your time at the highest level. Goes over the top this time through extra cover. He's so powerful there. And even a fielder on the cover boundary won't have a chance.
It's a great strike. He's obviously looking at the score and trying to up the scoring rate. And I think he's got the right thing. His intent, the ball before, was just to try to pedal over. But I like this shot here. Just get a nice stride in. Good contact. He's hit that one well over the top.
Yeah, went all the way for 6 as well. I was making the point just before that delivery, that what I liked about Unmuk Chan, the responsibility he's shown as captain to not throw it away. Then you get a gift like that, a half volley in your powerful area through extra cover, and you can put it away. So good batting, good awareness, and you expect that from your leader of the Silicon Valley Strikers.
Yeah, he's obviously feeling the pressure of trying to get the scoreboard ticking now, and it's probably the right stage. He's got wickets in hand, and maybe somebody else coming in will help, but that doesn't mean, you know, he's in a good position. He's going at about a run a ball.
Goes again. Similar stroke, similar result. This time even bigger. It's the timing of Unmuk Chan on display at Woodley Park.
Yeah, and just like that, 2 balls, 2 sixes. We saw that earlier with Jayasuriya when he came in and hit 2 off Timul Patel. Now he's done the same here.
Yeah, real missing length by the Master Blasters and the seamer, because he went full on both occasions and same exact result. So have to steer away from being that full on-off stump to a player that is so powerful and prolific in the offside.
Slower ball cutter here. You can see the grip. Yeah.
Much better adjustment. Much like what we saw them start proceedings off to the Silicon Valley Strikers. On that good length is what kept Unmuk Chan quiet, first of all. So I think if you want to be able, even if you can't dismiss him, you have to keep him quiet. You've got to be more on that good length more often than not. Otherwise, he will punish you like he's shown in the first 2 deliveries of this over.
I think if you have a look at this, there's a bit of 2 pace there. You can see the pace coming off it, and there's a bit of movement off the wicket. We saw that tennis ball bounce earlier that you're mentioning when it was a bit back of a length, and then this one, the one before, just kind of cutting in a little bit. not easy to hit. The 2 sixes that he hit, like you said, were pitched up. He's maximized that.
Oh, wow. Uneven bounce yet again on display. That was a good length delivery, and it passed next to the head of Unmuk Chan. Eventful end to the over.
Yeah, I don't see the top just coming off. If there's a bit of a puff of the surface coming off, I don't think this is. I think that the strikers might be looking at this and thinking it's not a bad little option there.
Bowling left arm round.
So it looks like for the first time today, Janat Patel will come into the attack. He's been a part-time option for this Hollywood Master Blasters team throughout last season. Will he have a bigger role? Cody Shetty, the captain, you can see, making sure he's got everything in place. It's a bold move, though, because they've seen Shehan Jayasuriya's intent to attack the spin. So Janat Patel now, it's a brave move by Cody Shetty, but we always see in cricket, sometimes the part-timers come into the attack, and they're the ones that are really able to break the partnership.
Yeah, interesting. Like you said, kind of went after Nisarg the last time. So let's see how he goes against here.
Well, very slow through the air. Shehan Jayasuriya, he's connected with every piece of that, but it's gone straight to the man. And just like we mentioned, Janat Patel into the attack straight away. The part-time option takes the wicket, and the much needed for the Hollywood Master Blasters.
He's just tossed that one up. He's tossed that one up nicely. Get above the eye line there. Jayasuriya has just gone for a nice wicket there for 001.
Well, initially, I thought he got that all the way for 6, but in the end, he just seemed like he hit it so well, but it went straight to the man on the biggest boundary of the ground. Shehan Jayasuriya, though, a really good start to the minor league season for him.
Yeah, he's kicking himself there a little bit. I think that was a good opportunity for both of them to just accelerate. That's going to be a little tough going. It'll be a little challenging for the new batter to come in and get adjusted to the wicket and be able to get a score.
New batsman in for the Silicon Valley Strikers, Gary Graham. Yeah, already tricked me. I saw this flighted delivery from Janat Patel. I thought as soon as it left the bat, surely it would be 6. But unfortunately for Jayasuriya, he just picked out that man at long on. And Cody Shetty, the brave move working for him. That's a crucial second wicket taken. But it will mean Gary Graham comes to the middle at a crucial time for his team. He's got to up the ante. He's an aggressive player, which we saw last season.
Good stats here.
Still interestingly enough, we haven't seen Rahul Jariwala, who is in that playing 11, open the batting for the majority of the 2021 season. Interesting to see when he comes into play, if he does, because they've got power still, Narsingh Deonarayan, Roshan, Primus.
It's not going to get 2 and 2, is he? Unmuk Chan's just put that one over the fence, and rightly so. That type of pace and that getting above the line, good batters are not going to miss out on opportunities like that. Well played.
Well, he's extremely slow through the air, and it's why Shehan Jayasuriya was so enticed. But Unmuk Chan not making the same mistake. He's going all the way. On the track again. Doesn't get this one past the extra cover fielder. Just be a single.
Center.
Just to see what Gary does here. He's obviously a powerful guy and played well for them last year from what I hear. Came in at crucial times.
Well, goes down the ground straight away. He's got that straight enough, and he'll open his account with a boundary. You don't want to bowl that slow to man of the power of Gary Graham.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with that, are you? That kind of stuff.
Shehan Jayasuriya must be kicking himself at the moment because he just was really a victim to the plan. Janat Patel bowling this slow.
Yeah, you live and die by the sword here if you with that pace. Oh, I think that one's going to.
Almost took out Umuk Chan in the process, but he finds a long on this time. Gary Graham. He's made his intentions clear. And what I found last season for the Silicon Valley Strikers team, they brought him in at a time where it was so hard for him to really attack because he was coming in with 1 or 2 overs left in the innings. I like this with 5 overs remaining. It gives him a chance to get in, and we know what that does happen. Extremely slow and past the cover fielder. This is an extremely expensive over, probably the one that the Silicon Valley Strikers needed to get them back on track for a big total.
Nothing like getting few balls. And of course, just one easing on the offside, getting it through. Not going to trouble any of these batters, I would think, except for Jaisu, of course. At him.
Well, if you're seeing the score, we're working to rectify that for you. It's the 15th over, not the 10th. And Unmuk Chan, he's still there at the crease, but Shian Jasuri has been dismissed. Gary Graham in for the Silicon Valley Strikers now.
Next time. Hey. Thank you.
So Gary Graham, with his powerful ability, a lot of hitting still to come. Rahul Jariwala, though, I'm very surprised, Zubin, that we haven't seen him as yet in this Silicon Valley Strikers lineup. But I think given the situation, with just 5 overs remaining, probably Graham was the man to send. How does he attack the space? That will be the next question. Well, he goes over the top. He's made his intentions very clear. That's exactly how he'll attack with maximums. Not sticking around. 114 now for 2 after 14 overs. Gary Graham, full delivery, able to tug it into the onside, getting a bit of extra help from the wind as well. So that's an updated score for you as we try to get that problem rectified. 114 for 2. Really good platform built by the Strikers. That's a big swing, Gary Graham. Not sticking around here, Zubin.
Yeah, nor should he, to be honest. I think he's obviously come here with a mission. You know, he's laid a platform. He has a bit of time left in him. He clearly can hit a ball, and I think it's the right approach. Just needs to pick and choose, though. It's not the greatest wicket. It's a little bit of two-pace in there. He's hit a couple off, and he's looking okay at this stage.
Slap down the ground, but long off in place. Of course, the Toyota MILC, presented by. Really good that we have cricket yet again. Just the achievement, Zubin, to have, you know, 27 teams across the country in action from all different parts of the United States. That in itself is so impressive. But then to have it all come together in one tournament, in one structured way, I think deserves tons of credit, and it's so good that we have another year.
It's a massive undertaking, and there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes from some very passionate and very good people. And it's amazing to see this type of quality of cricket that's coming out.
Slapped pass point by Unmuk Chan. This is a man that you need to take early. Even when he's struggling, he's still able to have and play innings like this where he can just kick into that second gear.
Yeah, and I like this shot from him. He's played a couple, had a few that is banged into the wicket a little bit shorter, and he's kind of deceived Unmuk. Now this I think this is the right way to play him. I think the next ball is going to be a pitched up ball. He's going to take over the top.
His partner at the other end, Gary Graham, you look at his 2021 statistics, able to strike at close to 130. So he will look to finish off the innings now with just 5 overs remaining after this. The perfect launching platform with the likes of Primus and Jariwala to come. Again, through the onside. Expensive over, though, because we've had already 13 coming from it. Still a delivery remaining.
That's the length I think that he's got to go for. And that's the length I think if the strikers are paying attention. That's kind of the lengths that they want to be bowling. There's obviously a little bit of movement. If you can see that ball, there's a bit of inward movement toward the batter, which makes it tough for them. But anything bang, anything full has got to go. And I think he's played the last few balls pretty well.
Another big swing and a miss, and it will be a dot to end the over. End of 15, 123 for 5.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need one hand on the roof, one hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save because rewards come first.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
Unmuk Chan, such a crucial member of this team, picking right where he left off from last season. 591 runs, average over 50. So Timur Patel will be back into the attack, the leg spinner. Just a single to start. One of 3 players that the Hollywood Master Blasters have brought in for this season. Bruno Patel will be an option with the bat in hand. He's to come. He's another one of those players, I think, a batting lineup which needs help, given last year they were just unable to post substantial totals on the board.
Just an update on the score, if you can't see it, 121 for 2 in the 15th over. So not a bad platform here. 5 overs. I don't know if they're going to go at 10s. So the next 5 overs could be interesting if they can get 40 runs.
Wow, the power on display. Has he got in the gap? He has. Gary Graham. It's not a man you want to miss your length to, especially when you're bowling at the pace of Timur Patel. He will put you away.
Yeah, he's really just muscled that one over. That's what you can gamble with at this stage. Just hit that one from outside off stump all the way there. Just a bit of a cow corner shot, but hey, doesn't have to be pretty, it's just effective.
Well, it was much better option, I think, from Timur Patel. For that delivery, which he was hit for 4, he came around the wicket. Not sure why. But then opting to come over and bowl a much better delivery. So, new challenge, though, Timur Patel, because Unmuk Chan has been there for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to take him on. You just do something like that, yeah. Just I think Unmuk knows that he's got Gary at the other end that's going fully.
Yeah, noticing that Chan coming down the trap. Gonna scamper through for a quick 2. Good running by the Silicon Valley Strikers. That's been a mainstay of their innings so far. Whenever they haven't been able to pick up boundaries, they've been able to put the pressure on with the running between the wickets. Ends another good over for the Silicon Valley Strikers.
What's up, Doug? What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
$128 for 2 after 16 overs. You know, joining us, welcoming to the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And of course, first game on this Western TV as well as the MLC Network. So excited about this undertaking. The exposure given to teams across the United States. 128 for 4 with 4 overs, sorry, 128 for 2 correction with 4 overs remaining. The perfect launching platform with 8 wickets in hand.
Yeah, I think at this stage, strikers just looking to can obviously go at it as hard as they can, get as many as they can, and Hollywood just needs to be disciplined here. Just need to be disciplined. You don't have to get all the wickets out. You just have to contain the runs. If they're able to monitor what's happening in the wicket, there's a bit of slowness in it when they've banged it, and only there's, if you can see, Gary hasn't been able to hit it.
Well, it's very important as well that the Hollywood Master Blasters are watching how the Silicon Valley Strikers have started this innings. They were a bit up and down to begin. Look at the innovation from Chan. Don't think he'll get to the boundary, but it will. It beats the man in the circle at fine leg. And option, he's been trying that a couple of times. Finally gets it well out the middle and executes well.
Yeah, good options there. Early in the over as well. You know, you want to try to get the ball and get some boundaries in the first 2 balls of the over. He's done that successfully. Puts that much more pressure on the bowler to come back, to save the over.
I was just making the point, though, before that boundary was hit, that the Hollywood Master Blasters have that things didn't go the way of the Valley Strikers in maybe the first 6 to 10 overs. There was a slow start, 35 from the power play, and only 65 for 1 after the first 10. But because they had wickets in hand, they were able to then launch in terms of the last 10. And right now, they're well on course to get over 160, which you think, with their bowling attack, could be a very dangerous target. Gary Graham goes again. It comes off the outside edge, doesn't get any power on it, and it goes straight to the keeper. It'll be a wicket. But you think Graham has done his job. He's had to come to the middle and attack. And he's gotten a few impactful blows out the middle for the Strikers.
Yeah, and that's going to happen in T20 cricket. You're swinging every ball. Didn't quite get it. It's probably held up in the surface a little bit, and just a regulation catch to the keeper.
So Graham is dismissed, and he's done his job. It will mean that Roshan Primus will come to the middle, score 130 odd. Perfect situation. Chan at the other end, who's well set and comfortable at the crease. So Primus played an excellent innings in the final against the New Jersey Stallions last year to get his team over the line, along with Narsingh Deonarain. So he comes to the middle at a crucial time for this Strikers team.
I think in Hollywood must be thinking to themselves, you know, let's try to get through these overs and limit the amount of scoring as they can. It's not necessarily about taking wickets. Could just be bowling to one side of the field. It's fairly short straight, but the square boundaries are quite long. So if they can keep the balls to those sides, have good fielders hovering in those areas and getting the ball in quickly and minimizing the amount of runs they can have to chase. It's going to be tough from here, though, I'll tell you that.
Well, you've got to keep taking wickets. You don't want any momentum to develop with the Strikers. Swing and a miss from Unmuk Chan. Interesting to see how he plays as well. Already has been aggressive, but now with the loss of Gary Graham and a new batter at the crease, expect him to take up the responsibility in terms of the bulk of the scoring. Been there for a long time.
He has, but I think at this stage they're gonna. It's probably wise to just go after it. They still have a few players in the tank that can hit even the lower order. At this stage, you know, you're gonna get bowlers that can swing the blade and get some top edges and whatever. So I think they can be a little bit forceful and get going.
Just wanted to initially, but just be a single. Successful over, though, for the Hollywood Master Blasters. They take a wicket. We've got 3 remaining in the first innings of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, of course, presented by Sunoco.
Timil Patel looks like coming in for his 4th over.
So that updated score for you, 135 for 3 after 17 overs, and definitely you would think 160 at least on the cards.
It's 160 probably the target, like you said, Nick. I think that's about right.
10 runs and over from here gets him to 165. That's sort of the standard you expect in the last 5 overs of T20 cricket. But given the fact you've got 7 wickets in hand, as well as the nature of these two players, Primus, an extremely powerful player, he comes into this in really good nick as well. 200s in the T20 club competition in Barbados, and he just last weekend scored a 50 over 100. And he shows it straight away. It was a flighted delivery by Timil Patel, and he's gone all the way over the top for 6, not wasting any time, Roshan Primus.
You in a bit of form there, so nothing, anything above the eye line, it's gonna go.
And it's a really interesting move by the captain, Cody Shetty, to bring the slower Timil Patel into the attack in the last 5 overs when you know a batter of Roshan Primus is gonna attack. Pulls back the length though, much better.
Better ball there, looked like a googly or some kind of top spinner. Good follow-up ball by Timil. To just keep it a bit flatter and skiddier if he can.
Just a single, but what a start it was. What a start it was by Primus, the first delivery, not wasting any time.
He latched on that one. It didn't, and credit to Timil, the next 2 balls just a bit flatter, didn't want to give a bit of air. Nicely played. Doing the stop on the boundary there. Just a 1 run.
A crucial delivery coming up here. Timil Patel can't be full. Anything full and flighted, Primus will attack. He's already shown his intent from the first delivery of the over. Straight to back to Timil Patel. A dot to end. 2 overs remain in this innings.
Last 12 balls remaining in this innings. Sean Primus. So still keeping the runs at bay still.
Over extra cover, Unmuk Chan, he scored prolifically in that region in this innings, and he continues in that vein.
So now that's his 3rd 6 in very similar fashion. Anything slightly pitched, just gets a good stride in. He's obviously strong and hits the middle. His bats nowadays firing, and he's done that well. Just like the way he's batting now, he just kind of has getting a good stride forward and making good contact.
Pulls back the length, tries the shorter option. He's such a strong player in the offside.
I think lucky to get away with that one too. Saw earlier some of the cuts he was playing off that similar delivery, just couldn't quite get it.
Another swing and a miss. Would have felt that you missed out there in terms of outside the off stump, Unmuk Chan, but it's the length, much better length. Very difficult it out from a good length. So Eun Chan then has to adjust a bit further. Here it is again. You see much better in terms of that length. He started very full outside the off stump. Good adjustment from the Hollywood Master Blasters.
See what happens here. Who's going to end up?
Into the onside again. Unable to find the boundary. It's been a good over since that maximum, the very first delivery. But Roshan Primus likes to attack the pace. That bit of extra seam on the ball. I can tell you, Zubin, I watched him in Barbados in that club tournament. 200s in the T20s, and then even the 50 over 100 he scored 2 weekends ago. This man, the way he's striking the ball, if he gets away for the Silicon Valley strikers, it's very hard to stop him.
Clearly, I saw him earlier this year as well. Just good.
Should get it to cover.
I think at this stage, anything less than a 6 or a 4 is a win for the bowler. Yeah, like you said, Primus is just one of those guys when, you know, he doesn't leave much. If you're off your game, he's going to take you to the cleaners. He's obviously in devastating form at the moment.
In the air, has he got enough of it? Eun Chan, the fielder underneath, but he can only watch it sail over his head. The way this innings has developed for Chan, the captain, he started so slowly, less than a run a ball for his first 30 runs, but since, it's been the Eun Chan show.
Yeah, once again, just getting a good comfortable stride. And he's got really good hands and levers, and he just has to help that ball. Once you get it over, and once you get it in the middle, it's gonna go. It's another good shot, and like you said, it hasn't been easy for him. It's been challenging. The wicket's not an easy one to bat on. It's not as crisp, but he's managed to just kind of get a score here, and he's putting his team in a good winning position.
158 for 3, the score now. Just working to get that scoring problem rectified for you, but in the meantime, with an over remaining, the Silicon Valley strikers are taking it apart. So we will have the final over of this innings.
So what's your guess here? 165 is I think is definitely on.
Well, I think
this man here,
they'll need more than
180.
165, the way that they're striking it. So final over coming up here. Have to do well, the Master Blasters, to keep them to under 165. Roshan Primus flat bats it all the way for a maximum. This is not a man you can afford to miss your length, especially at that pace. He's showing you why.
Fantastic. Ball was banged in. A little bit back of the length, but just not gonna. He's in this kind of devastating form. He's just, once again, just a good stride, good hands, good levers. Hit the ball easy as you like.
164 into the onside. Will be another boundary. Didn't think he caught it well enough, or has it? No, fielder does well at mid-wicket. I think he's pulled it back in, so keeps it to 2. Primus initially, when he struck it, thought it went for 4. But really good piece of fielding on the mid-wicket boundary to save that certain boundary, the way he struck it. You can see again, playing to his strengths at the moment, the Master Blasters, so strong, square, because of that strong base he has.
Well done too by the fielder there. Saving 2 runs. All counts.
Wow, wide. That's harsh. I want to see that one again. That was very harsh. Thought it just thread the tram line. But in the end, umpire gives it a wide. So bonus delivery for, oh wow, Zubin, that is very harsh.
Don't get one of those to Roshan too easy. It's a good delivery as well. Bit unlucky there, but that's the way the game goes.
167 goes again, this time off the outside edge, and it'll run away for 4. Rubbing salt in the wounds for the Hollywood Master Blasters. It was good bowling, the wide Yorker but comes off the outside edge and gets to the boundary.
And to be honest, it's actually not a bad delivery to get that. Obviously, with the third man up in the circles, challenging. That's just the way it is in the last T20 cricket in the last few overs. Let's get a few edges here and there.
All must go. Primus again. Has he got all of that? There is a field in the deep, and it makes no difference. It goes all the way for a maximum. Roshan Primus, it's the second in the over. This is the Roshan Primus show.
His initial reaction, I thought he just put it in, that he get caught on the boundary or just around the 30-yard circle. Can't quite see the entire ground, but he's cleared it by some.
So Primus going length to him, but he's been able to hit over the top. That's because of that strong base he has. This is not a big move of his feet. And now he's going to opt to come from over the wicket, the seamer. I believe that is Ayan Desai.
He's actually bowled pretty well. His first spell in the beginning was good, and he's been a bit unlucky here. As you know, it's not easy coming into the last and clearly not bowling to Roshan.
Goes wide. He's going to have to definitely rebowl that one. That's certainly outside that line. But you can't fault him for that option because of the power that Primus has shown. Anything at him, he will strike. So I like the wide Yorker option, but you've got to get it right. Such a thin error for a margin of error.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I credit his bowling, to be honest. It's been, like you said, it's not an easy thing for him to do.
Well, is that six more? Down the ground, but no, there's a fielder at long on. Taken in the deep. So Primus walking back, but he's done his job. Roshan Primus, the all-rounder for the Silicon Valley Strikers. He struck a couple lusty blows to get his team into a really good position, but just one too many and didn't get by any means.
Nice little cameo there by him. Puts his team in a good position. 2 sixes in the over. 4.
178 for 4. One delivery remaining, I believe, in this innings. Rahul Jariwala comes out to the middle. So it's actually Pranay Suri, the middle order batsman for the Silicon Valley Strikers. And it's going to be a Mukchan looking for 2. Comes back for 3 in the end. So ends the innings with 3 runs. And the Silicon Valley Strikers get up to 181 for 4 in the 20 overs after being 65 for 1 in the first 10. You have to credit the Strikers in terms of being able to get up to what is an extremely competitive total on a dicey surface.
Yep, not like you said, quite an achievement to get to this stage. Probably put them in the driver's seat now, and considering where the wicket was and what their score was after the first 6 overs, very impressive. Good innings by Unmak. Calculated his team as a captain, put his team in a good position.
Well, Mukchan again the standout, picking up exactly where he left off in the 2021 season, being the leading run scorer, and he raises his bat. Another half century for Chan, 180 for 4 in the 20 overs for the Silicon Valley Strikers. It's been mightily impressive. We saw it was a slow start. The surface was a bit slow, but in the end, the way they were able to finish with not only Chan, but the likes of Gary Graham and Roshan Primus, really has gotten them up to a very competitive total. So when we return, we will have we'll look at the highlights before we go, but the Silicon Valley Strikers definitely will feel very good about the way that they've started this innings. This was the first couple overs. Shreya Jayasuriya started extremely well, taking the attack to the spin. But then they pulled it back towards pulled it back in that power play, the Hollywood Master Blasters. Nisar Patel was of Arch Butch, one that just went straight on with the arm. It was given just 2 in 9 deliveries for Butch. And then Patel continued. You can see the wicket again. definitely went into the pad. So the target for the Hollywood Master Blasters, looking for their first win in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. We'll need 181 for victory. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes for the run.
also. So they will not come back because they are looking at you for 6.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.
Well, welcome back to the Woodley Park, Los Angeles, for the resumption of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. We've had a 1 inning so far in this match number 1 on the Western Conference. Of course, the Silicon Valley Strikers taking on the Hollywood Master Blasters. Onmuk Chan was the standout, the captain again with a half century, getting his team up to 180. You think, Zubin, Sakari, who's alongside me, you think it would be a very competitive total.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, knowing what's in the wicket, it's going to take the Blasters a bit of a similar type of approach. You know, try to get themselves into position, assess the conditions after the first 6 overs and see where they get them. It's going to be a couple partnerships that have to be built at this stage.
So 180 for 4. Let me run through the scores in terms of who would have did what. Onmuk Chan, the captain, was the standout. 94 from 65 not out. A statement piece from Chan, who started with 29 from 31. Struggled in his first maybe 30 or 35 deliveries, but then just saw him open up. And 7 fours, 5 maximums. Jayasuriya got a start on 26, but it was all about the finish. 26 from 10 for Roshan Primus. Helped them get up to that 180 in just 10 overs. Excellent. Well, sorry, 20 overs, but in the last 10, that's where they really attack with the new ball in hand. Saurabh Natravalkar, who plays, of course, for the USA. And he will take up duties. So reliable for a number of years, both in the minor league last year, but then for the USA across both T20 and one international format.
Yeah, very, very disciplined and strong player. Good ability with the ball. I think he's going to do well on this surface. If he just hits that back of length, he bowls fairly, swings it in a little late. And with the score of 180 behind your back, it's going to be challenging to try to get a bit more out of them.
What a start though for Onmuk Chan. You mentioned that was it 591 runs in last year's tournament, and then to start with 94 as well. Nothing has changed. He's just continued to be dominant.
And it just goes to show, you know, as you said, he was going at a run of ball probably to the 30 or 40s. And he just, you know, hit a few 6s here and there, just gets the strike rate up. And you end up with 90 something, and well-deserved innings.
So his 94 has gotten his team to a really good position. 180 on the board. Saurabh Natravalkar, as you mentioned, the former USA captain. And won't be there for the majority of the season because of USA national duty, but he's there today. First delivery, here we go. The leg side starts. A man that likes to rely a lot on swing. Such a reliable option for the USA team over the years.
Such a great player to have in your side. Just a calming demeanor, tactical, plays hard, consistent. You can just see the first ball on the spot. It's massively important to have. Looks like he's got a bit of, he's been in the gym a little bit more. Big fella. Maybe a tighter shirt, who knows? It does look like he's in good shape.
So Murno Patel, who they've brought in this year for this minor league 2022 season, is going to open the batting. The mark. Oh, we're opening with Ravi Timbawala. Travolka, we mentioned his expertise in the T20 format. Less than 7 runs and over his economy rate over his career. Not on that, but just short of the man at slip, Pranay Suri. You look at his figures though, Saurabh Netravalkar, zoom in, he's taken 45 wickets in 27 one internationals. That's where he really is dominant in terms of his international career. But even in his T20s, I think he's really come on watching him. 15 T20 internationals, 11 wickets, an economy rate of less than 7. Timbawala, Ravi Timbawala is going to want to start the innings well against Netravalkar. That's what he's so good at. We saw it, the Master Blasters gained success when they were on a good length in the first innings. Netravalkar, he has the ability, I think, to run up and hit the same spot for 6 deliveries in a row.
Yeah, in many ways that's good, you know, especially in the early spurts. If you have the ball to swing back in, you know, in the end it's still cricket and T20s, regardless of what, you know, what standard you're playing. Just hitting good areas for batters, regardless of what the standard is going to be good. It's going to be challenging for them to hit them off a length.
No, opens the face nicely. Timbawala runs this one down to third man. There is a third man in the deep. They come back for 2. Have to hurry, but they get there in the end. That's good running, though. When you have 180 needed to chase, you've got to run well. We saw it to take some of the pressure off of the strikers in the first innings. Good signs so far from the Hollywood Master Blasters. But unfortunately, when you need close to 9 runs and over, you've got to find a boundary at least every over.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take some doing. They just have to be in striking distance, like you said. If you're going at 10s, 11s in the last 6, 7 overs, work your way backward from that. Looks like the wicket's a little bit better than it, and then seems to be coming through a little bit nicer. Excellent ball.
Well, 115 runs were scored. Sorry, beg your pardon. 125 runs were scored in the last 10 overs. And it showed you the importance. They were 65 for 1 after 10, the strikers. It allowed them to just build a platform with wickets in hand and then really accelerate towards the end with the likes of Gary Graham, right of screen, Roshan Primus, and of course, Unmuk Chan, the captain, followed up with that 94. Superb way to start the season. Again, on that good length. He's gone there all 4 deliveries of this over. Sorry, all 6 deliveries. And he's so consistent. Netravalkar ends the first over of this reply at the end of 1, 3 for none. So just a look at, that was a look at how the first things unfolded. So far though, Murno Patel just won. Do have some batting to come. Cody Shetty, the captain, expect him. He scored the most runs for this Hollywood Master Blasters team in 2021. Expect him to really do the bulk of the scoring. So just 3 after the first over by Netravalkar.
It's going to require a bit of a partnership. A little cliche, you need a partnership. Just get yourself in striking distance. The first 6 overs is crucial. We used to talk about it in 50 over cricket. The first 15 overs, you have to be in or out of the game in the first 15 overs. The same with T20s. It's kind of like the 6 to 8 overs. If you're in a decent position, you have a chance. You have a chance to make it up.
So Mohamed Irfan Jr. will bowl at the other end for the Silicon Valley Strikers. So excited about this addition to this team. Very unorthodox, starts with a good short delivery. The line was so good at the body of Mruno Patel.
I don't know what to make of this action. There's Sohail Tanvir.
Yep, very similar to Sohail Tanvir, his countryman.
Right arm Sohail Tanvir.
Extremely tall as well. 5 for Mohamed Irfan Jr.
Good shirt number 2. I like that.
Getting that bit of extra bounce. And they like the fact that they've got a slip in place. Umuk Chan likes to be aggressive for both bowlers. Hint of movement away from the right-hander in the first over. Irfan Jr. though comes into this with a huge resume. 22 first-class games back in Pakistan, 80 wickets, 35 T20s as well, and averages close to 20. He's a genuine wicket taker and a huge addition for this Silicon Valley Strikers team to get in. Of course, this is the winning, successful Strikers team. Dead ball signaled, may have just stuck in the hand. But that gives me some more time to spend on Mohamed Irfan Jr. He's represented 3 franchises in the Pakistan Super League, Karachi Kings, Quetta Gladiators, Multan Sultans, as recently as 2019. Any player that has that bit of an extra experience under his belt really will assist them in the minor league. You can see again, trying to, yeah, that unorthodox action. Unfortunately, the ball just sticking in his hand. So have to re-bowl that one. Gets it through the infield, so should be a couple of runs. Just 1 taken. 2 men on the deep. Man at deep point.
Yeah, with the amount of franchise cricket going around, it's great to see. There's lots of T20 stuff happening.
Yeah, pretty conventional field with the 2 outs allowed outside the circle. He's got that deep point, and it looks to be a interesting deep mid-wicket going back now for Mohamed Irfan Jr. It makes you think, is he going to go to that short delivery? He's playing with the batter at the moment. I've seen that reverse psychology work so often. The batter thinks a short delivery is coming, but then he goes full. He has the slip in place as well. Interesting field, attacking field for Chan and the Strikers. Angled in at the body, probably why that mid-wicket in place. Another dot delivery. Been a reliable, good start though from Mohamed Irfan Jr.
Yeah, he's been on the spot. That one ball that got a bit away from him. He's got to be a challenging guy to hit. He just has such an unorthodox action. You know, the ball coming in from a different angle.
You haven't been able to find the boundaries yet, the Master Blasters. Again, that 3rd man in place fenced the boundary scoring option, so a pretty economical start so far for the Strikers. Of course, Toyota on board this season again for the Minor League Cricket Championship. Couldn't have done 2021 without them. Great to have them back on board for what's expected to be an exciting season. It goes over the top. Could be the first runs for the Hollywood Master Blasters in terms of the boundary. It's not though, because he does have that deep mid-wicket in place. Just be a couple of runs. I find it interesting though, Zubin, that they have used that deep mid-wicket fielder. We'll get back to that at the end, in the next over. End of 2, 7 for none. So 181 needed for victory from the 20 overs. It's been a slow start so far by the Master Blasters. Still requiring some 174, but the required run rate, the key figure there. They have to go out close to 10s from here on in, Zubin, if they want to get to that total.
It's amazing what happens with a few low-scoring overs and what that does for your run rate. You know, you're 3 overs in and you're looking at 10s. It's going to be a challenging hill to climb. But like we said, what we see, it's straight. The wicket, the ground is fairly short. The outfield's fairly fast. So you never know how it's, and you never know how you can get. You just have to get yourself in a good position and see how it takes you.
Nachavalkar will continue. Just the 1 over for 2 runs to start. 3 runs, correction. He's such a reliable option in the power play. One of the toughest phases to bowl in T20 cricket. With just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. Nachavalkar, you mentioned his consistency. I think probably up there with the best white ball bowlers in the United States. And again, on the good length. And Nachavalkar will be one that will be on international duty. I think this is the only game he's going to be playing before the team goes off to Namibia and then Zimbabwe for the qualifiers. Yeah,
and a huge loss for them, for the strikers, but a massive boost for the U.S. team. And good luck to them as well. They had a good run here in the ODI series, and hopefully they'll continue with the form going forward.
Hit down
the loose shot down there. Just a single.
Yeah, been lucky not to get that one through. Saurabh Nachavalkar, of course, would have just competed in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup League 2 in the United States and did extremely well there again. Just such a consistent performer for this team over the years, and then what he's added last season to the Silicon Valley Strikers as well has been a huge boost. Only was able to play in around 13 matches because of national duty and was still able to take 16 wickets. And this is the reason why, because he just prevents boundary scoring options, which is so important, especially when you're chasing a total in excess of 180.
Yeah, you can just see that his approach to the wicket. He has a bit of an explosive last few steps, and he gets the ball to kind of just hit in an area that gets up in and around waist into armpit height. You can see right there, like, it's just really tough to get away. Yeah, wicket to wicket.
It'll something extraordinary if they want to score a boundary from a delivery like that. It's just on a good length at the stumps, but on off stump, and he's got protection in the cover region and third man, so it just makes it very simple but effective. In the air, could this be the first wicket for the Silicon Valley Strikers? Should be taken, and is. The captain, no, it's not the captain, but it's the strip wicket fielder who takes the catch. And I believe it was Dev Thadani under it. Catch, and Nachavalkar again, just forcing the batter to do something. Looking for boundaries, you need it. The score was just getting away from them, the Master Blasters, and a big first wicket for the Silicon Valley Strikers.
That's what you call scoreboard pressure and just good disciplined cricket bowling. He's just been in that back of the length, not getting off, not getting any runs, and not getting any boundaries. Batter's forced to do something if they want to try to win.
So Ravi Tembawala, he's really struggled at the crease. He's gone for 4 from 10 deliveries, 9 for 1. Cody Shetty, the captain, will come to the middle with the fall of that wicket. And Shetty was the leading run scorer for this Hollywood Master Blasters team in the first season. 470 runs at an average of 42. Really did well for them, but he didn't have much help. Murno Patel at the other end. You'll expect him, being sort of the new recruit for this Master Blasters team, to do the bulk of the scoring. These two will be very important, not only in this game, but across the entire season.
In the end, you got to get somebody to score the runs for you. And it's tough if it's just one guy scoring. You need a group of players that are into winning. That's probably what reflected in their 2-win season.
Nachavalkar just so skillful at being consistent, and you can see there with the fall of that wicket working exactly how we would have wanted. Because he's able to do this, just keep the scoring to a minimum. The singles, even twos, don't hurt you as much. It then forces the batter to then look for boundaries, and when you do that, you're always in with a chance of taking a wicket.
Yeah, and more so in the power play. The first 6 overs, if they're already 3 and a bit going into this now, and the score is only 10. It's going to be challenges that uphill, but as we said, it was only almost 9s, almost 10s. 10 runs and over, earlier, and it's just.
So you can see he's got an extra fielder behind square on the offside. Because of that good length he operates, wants to bring that edge in place. Because he's on a good length, it then takes away that late cut option from Cody Shetty. Again, on a good length. This man, Saurav Netravalkar, so skillful. It'll end a successful over for the Silicon Valley Strikers. End of 3. The score 10 for 1. So just 3 overs down. The Silicon Valley Strikers well on top of things. Pretty much have been from the onset. 180 on the board, and now already a wicket in the first 3. Mohamed Irfan Jr. continuing. He's been able to keep the pressure on these two. Look at that wicket that was just taken by Netravalkar in the last over, and the Silicon Valley Strikers. Here you see again, back to his bread and butter. Good length. A couple of dot balls in a row before that, and then the batter trying to find a boundary. Goes straight up in the air, easy catch in the circle.
Again, just the consistency of just building dot balls, not getting the boundaries. The batter has to be forced to do something.
Oh, what a shot that was. Glorious from Murnal Patel. First real sign of any dominance with the bat in hand for the Hollywood Master Blasters, but that's some way to open your account.
Fantastic shot. We always talk about guys getting in a good position, just a solid, good hands coming through. He's hit that with the full face of the bat. Lovely shot.
Yeah, that was a really good stroke, especially with extra cover and mid-off in the circle. He knew once he got it past that man, it was going to be 4. So Murnal Patel, you mentioned, he comes into this with a big task on his hands for the San Diego Surf Riders. Last season, 341 runs, but he got 3 half centuries as well. So he's shown that he has been able to get runs at the top of the order. Different challenge, though, against this Silicon Valley Strikers team. Mohamed Irfan making the adjustment now. Comes over the wicket, sorry, around the wicket to the left-handed Patel. Cricket's game of all these subtle adjustments, Zubin. You would know.
Yeah, and you know, it's I'm surprised with that. I think it wasn't a bad option to go across the body, but that last ball quite good too.
Oh wow, that one got a bit of extra bounce from Mohamed Irfan Jr.
I think the one ball going across is Irfan has just said, you know what, enough of that. I'm coming around the wicket, cramping for room. I think you can see by the way Murnal plays, has a bit of a replay again of the ball. Just there's still a little bit of that tennis ball bounce in it. So it's gonna be definitely challenging. Maybe not as pronounced as the first innings.
Again in the air, but this time we'll go over that cover fielder. Should be 2. Didn't time it well. Cody Shetty, sorry, Murnal Patel it was, on strike. Zubin, from your time at the international level, when you're constructing run chases like this, where you need to score over 10 runs and over from the onset, really, how do you go about this if you have the captain and 2 experienced players at the crease?
Before, you have to try to put yourself in a position to win the game. You know, in the first 6 to 8 overs, it's going to be crucial to try to get a decent start.
Ends with a good delivery, Mohamed Irfan Jr. End of the over at the end of 4, 16 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
1, 2, 3.
Kept it very tight so far. Excellent start, ideal start being able to post a substantial total on the board of 180 and then following it up with a super so far. Just the two bowlers used for the strikers. Netravalka already in the wickets.
Yeah, now we were saying before, you know, chasing a total like this, you really just have to give yourself a chance. You know, you don't want to be out of the game. It is tough because you know it's hard to gauge, especially when you need 10s and over early. It's challenging. You don't know how to go about it. It you know takes a bit of experience, scoreboard pressure.
It's going to be Roshan Primus coming into the attack very early on. Great cameo for him. 26 from 10 deliveries at the end of the last innings. This Silicon Valley Strikers team. He had a quiet season, Primus, last year, but he came into his own at a crucial time for the Strikers. This is going to be runs. Runs for Cody Shetty. Just too full from Primus. Real loosener to start. And need a lot more of where that came from, the Hollywood Master Blasters.
Well played there. Cody obviously needs to get the score going. He knows that. So anything loose has to go. So it's nice and positive. Again, we talk about batters just getting into a good stride and just using the hands. Looks like he just waited on the ball a little bit.
Just tapping this one down. Third man up in the circle. So we'll have more work to do. Gary Graham makes a great stop at the boundary.
Great effort there. Want your fielders to be putting in all the effort.
One thing to note in terms of opening seamers, you see Primus banging that one in. It was well positioned by Cody Shetty, but even better work done by Gary Graham at the boundary. Kulvinder Singh, not in the 11 today. He was such an effective option with the newer ball. Him and Saurabh Netravalka caused all sorts of problems in that finals weekend in North Carolina, but it shows you the strength of this Silicon Valley Strikers team. They've opted for Irfan Jr. and Netravalka, as well as the all-round ability of Primus.
Yeah, I missed the fella. Saw him playing the other day in Morgan Hill. Took a nice, solid catch. Good guy to have on your team, it looks like. So missing out today, but he'll probably feature as Saurabh's on his national duties.
Yeah, as soon as Netravalka, who's expected to leave for that Namibia trip after this weekend. Kulvinder, extremely important, not playing today, but 13 wickets in just 9 innings last year. Average of 17. That 3 for 32 he took in the finals really set them up to be victorious in a crucial game against the Stallions. So shows you the bit of depth that they have. The Silicon Valley Strikers is why they're champions. And I think a much improved lineup as well. Much better comeback though from Roshan Primus in this over. Conceded the boundaries to start, but then since has been much straighter in the line. Hasn't allowed these two in the middle to get very comfortable. They need one big over, you would think, though. We saw it with in the Silicon Valley Strikers innings. They were struggling, just going at 6 runs and over, but then a huge over off the spin of Janat Patel really kick-started that for the rest of the innings and allowed them to get it to that one.
No ball called there.
Yeah, overstepping Primus. They took 15 runs, Zubin, off the 9th over, and from there on in, didn't look back. Ended up scoring 125 from the last 10. That's almost more than 12 and a half and over. And it tells you what you need to know about this surface. If you can get in, Umuk Chan showed, if you can get in and spend time at the crease, you're rewarded with value for your shots. It's a very quick outfield, and that'll be in the back of Cody Shetty's mind, an experienced player like him who's done well in the 2021 season. Ooh, tight call by the umpires. Something seems to be behind the line, but obviously very difficult for the umpires to make that decision in prime time.
And like you said, you know, earlier, once the batters are in, and it is a tough surface to get in on. Once they're in, they have to maximize. You know, leaving it to somebody else to come in with overs to go and a big run rate to chase will be challenging.
Cody Shetty, there's that cover on the boundary, so just finds the fielder. If you're now joining us, Zubin Sakari alongside me, the former Canada international player. And Zubin, of course, would have been an influential member, played World Cups, etc. Really good as a former cricketer yourself to see cricket like this in the United States and how it's developed.
Yeah, I think it's amazing what's happening here. To have a 27 team. See Primus in his ball here.
A great Yorker executed. What have you made of the overall tournament, Zubin? Watching it for a year, you also part of the development as we end the 5th over, but definitely has great future in terms of where it can go.
Yeah, I mean, what an opportunity for some of the youngsters and some of the rules that are in place to get the under 21s and the under 19s in there to keep within a region, to try to encourage teams to practice and train more and be more professional. There's obviously a lot that's going into the infrastructure, which is a challenging part. This is a fantastic venue here, and there's some other ones that are popping up all across the U.S. I don't think that's. I mean, it's an exciting part, you know, to be involved with myself, and it's just amazing to see how much talent there is around the country. Now we can actually see it on one platform. So, you know, I'm looking forward to this this season. This is just one of many games that is happening, and yeah, you know, what an opportunity for domestic players around the U.S.
Srinivas Raghavan will come into the attack. So, ringing the changes, Unmuk Chan at the moment does have a lot of different options he can go to. We saw the 2 overs each from Netravalka Irfan Jr.
Yeah, it's gone away with the left arm spin option.
Who, remember, we saw very successful. Nisarg Patel picked up the first wicket. He was very economical as well throughout that innings. So you would have watched that, Raghavan. Just beats Gary Graham in the infield, and because of how quick this outfield is, he'll get a boundary. It didn't look like he timed it well, but once he beat that point fielder, it had enough on it to go all the way.
Yeah, just fractionally short, and Cody knows that he's going to have to pounce on anything that's loose at this stage and just keep in the game. Nicely put pressure on the bowler to come back. It wasn't that short, just kind of a ball armor started. Cody, obviously, with his experience, just put it away easily.
Yeah, one of those marquee players for this Hollywood Master Blasters team. 470 runs last year in the 15 innings. Tried again, similar shot. This time, though, found the man. Comes in with a tremendous experience as well. Cody Shetty. 99 first-class matches over in South Africa, where he played for so many years. Over 80 T20s. Good start from Raghavan. Much straighter. Because he's so slow, anything short and wide, you expect Cody Shetty, especially in the power play, to pounce on. So he's got to be very careful in terms of that line he bowls, Raghavan. Again wide, and again another cut, but he's got to hurry. Direct hit could have been very interesting at the bowler's end.
Good cricket all around there. Obviously, Cody needs to know that there's a bit happening, and he has to keep the rotation of the strike going. Sometimes there's a bit of risk involved. It's a tight one here.
Yeah, good impetus though to ask for the single, but direct hit, he was gone. Not even in the picture had it hit direct. And Unmuk Chan, he'd be disappointed he wasn't able to hit the stump. Such a good gun fielder at extra cover.
It's just a bit of variation up and down with the left arm spinner. It's always challenging if balls are not consistently on a length, and it could be one that's going through a little bit lower and a little bit higher. So they just have to be watchful of that.
Primus at square leg, misfields, but there is protection in the deep. So it will just be a 2. But the scoring now beginning to be a lot more fluent from the Hollywood Master Blasters because they've been able to build this partnership between Shetty and Murno Patel. Patel's been there for a while, 16 deliveries for his 13. I expect him now to take on the bowling. Very similar position to where the Silicon Valley Strikers were in their innings. Getting some turn on that one, getting a bit of extra grip in the surface. Raghavan ends the over with a good delivery. At the end of 6, the power play, done and dusted, 33 for 1. So Roshan Primus, expensive, went for 10 runs. Still looking for that first wicket for him in this minor league championship. In the air, into the offside. Should just be a couple runs quite easily. Cody Shetty, though, he'll be the one that they want. Even though Mrunal Patel has been there from the onset, Cody Shetty, because of his game and the fact that we've seen him score runs, he was the leading run scorer for this Master Blasters team in 2021. You expect him to be sort of that danger man for oppositions whenever the Master Blasters go around in the tournament.
Yeah, he's certainly the player for them. And he has to just try to get somebody around him to tag with him. Oh, that'll help. Roshan. He's paying too much attention with his batting, scoring too many runs, has to give a few back, I guess.
No, he's been all over. I'm searching still for that rhythm, I think. Always difficult, especially in the heat as well. Temperatures have really ramped up throughout the morning. So Primus, you can see, looking to find that optimum line and length, and has been a bit wayward. Have to rebowl that one. Wise did cause a with Master Blasters in the first innings. Good option by Primus. Bowling to his field, third man in place, just goes full and wide. Just be a single.
It's not going to hurt them at this stage. I like Primus's just kind of a bit of a slingy action and bowls a little bit fuller. Probably has a good shoulder, so once in a while he could probably get the ball to go up through a little bit quicker. Challenging, just kind of trundles up into the crease, but definitely some strength there behind him.
A bit of the extra bounce we saw in the first innings. The variable bounce on this surface, been a bit too paced, but I think as the sun has shone on it, it has dried up a bit more and gotten a bit quicker as it is progressed.
Yeah, and Hollywood winning the toss and choosing to bowl. Looks like the wicket is a little bit better in second innings. Exactly what I was saying earlier about Primus's ability to get the ball, just get through. He definitely has one of those types of actions that can get one that's rising.
Well, this one pulled, cracked into the onside, and Cody Shetty, but he's looked in really good nick. Mrunal Patel it was, though, hitting that. He's been there for a long time, and it was just short, giving him enough time to dispatch it where he wanted. And even after that initial power play completed, still able to find the gap and find the boundary.
Yeah, just fractionally short, just pounced on it. Nicely played.
So again, this time on the offside, work to be done for the cover fielder. Does well, just keeps it to 1.
Good effort there by the boundary rider. Keep that for 2. Keep that down to 1, eliminating the 2.
We'll be interested to see how Unmuk Chan, though, manages his bowling options. Already, he would have used the 2 seamers up front in Irfan Jr. and Saurabh Nachavalkar. Then, of course, Primus, and we just saw Srinivas Raghavan. Does have Pranesh Suri, who can bowl spin. So interesting to see how he manages his options. Almost onto the stumps. Very lucky for Cody Shetty there. Dev Thadani can come into the attack as well. So options for Unmuk Chan to choose from. End of the over at the end of 7, 43 for 1. So 2 overs apiece remaining for Nachavalkar, Irfan, and Primus. Still haven't seen that 5th option to attack. Srinivas Raghavan will bowl his second. just cut for a single. Out the power play now, so you can have the 5 outside the circle.
Interesting to see if Patel goes after Raghavan here, similar to what Jaisura did.
You can see
you know,
there.
left arm.
See the pretty much conventional cover and mid-wicket sweepers out on the boundary. And before the left arm spinner, don't want to give Cody Shetty too much. He's got long on and long off in place. Big scoring areas though in the onside, so Raghavan's got to be very clinical in terms of his bowling. He likes to operate on that off stump. Can't afford to miss. What comes down the track? Has he got it? It's Mrunal Patel. This is what happens when you spend time at the crease. Really coming into his own now.
Yeah, I had to figure it's about time he has to go after it a little bit with the left arm spinner bowling the ball into him. Just nice movements there, just eased it over.
It's an interesting matchup as well. By Unmuk Chan to go. This one is gorgeous over extra cover. There's a field in the deep, but he won't stop it. And it will be back-to-back boundaries, 1-6 and then a 4 from Mrunal Patel.
Yeah, nice movements there. He wasn't quite there and just decided to put it over.
Yeah, you wasn't to the pitch of the ball, but he just checked his shot so well. Patel and did really well to score 10 from the first two. That's all you need. All of a sudden, the required rate comes a lot closer to 10 and over. You need one big over when you're chasing a total like this. Much better from Raghavan, pulls the length back. Probably a big relief for him is that he gets Mrunal Patel off strike.
It's a bit of mirroring the first innings as well. Kind of a slow, sputtering start, and now a couple, you know, a 6 and a 4 and in an over. Just bring the momentum back a little bit. I like the way they're going about it at the moment.
But again, wanted a single Cody Shetty, but good fielding at point. So good comeback from Raghavan, but the damage has been done. Already they've taken 12 from the over. Still some 2 deliveries remaining. So 1 delivery remaining. And it'll end with just a single. So a good over, much needed for the Master Blasters. They bring up the 50 in that over as well. At the end of 8, 56 for 1.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले। हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
We can see the beautiful, picturesque Woodley Park, Los Angeles. The first weekend of many in terms of this premium coverage coming to you on Willow TV and MLC Network. So that in itself is so exciting as Pranay Suri is going to come into the attack for the first time today. The spin option. And it also begs the question in terms of the left arm spin. How much left arm spinners are we seeing in the modern game? We saw 3 in the first innings for the Hollywood Master Blasters, well 2, sorry, and then of course the leg spinner in Mrunal Patel. Now already the second for the Silicon Valley Strikers.
Well, I played a lot of associate cricket, and left arm spinners are a key member of the team. Seems to be so many of them around, picking up wickets too.
So Cody Shetty able to turn over the strike. He's done well thus far to build a platform. He would have captained against Unmuk Chan and seen exactly what he would have done in that 94. It was a slow start for Unmuk Chan, we keep mentioning, but because others that came in to bat with him were able to score quickly, it took the pressure off of him, and then when he got into his own, was able to attack in the last 5 overs. Comes on the track again. Shetty just be a single. Sorry, Mrunal Patel it was.
Yeah, there's a bit of similarity in both of the innings at the moment. You know, a bit of a kind of a stop-start for the strikers when they were batting, and now Blasters just kind of getting a bit of momentum, having a couple of boundaries hit. Just brings the game back a little bit. So they're definitely not out of it. They just need to just kind of keep at that going.
Aerial from Cody Shetty, and it straight into the lap of the square leg fielder. And just when this partnership was developing to 48, he throws it away, looking to attack the left arm spin. It's worked for Oh Muk Chan.
Yeah, he'd be a bit disappointed with that. Not a bad option to take on the off spinner, being the right-hander, but just didn't quite get it out of the screws. Just get an easy catch on the boundary.
Yeah, Pranay Suri, the off spinner correction, dismisses his man. Not Oh Muk Chan, Cody Shetty it is walking back for a well-played 20 from just 17. 58 now for 2.
Be a bit upset with himself, obviously. Just not quite getting, probably when he wanted to kick on a little bit. Now he's put the pressure back on his team.
Yeah, that partnership was really developing nicely. Look at the last couple of overs. They were scoring at 10 runs and over, 13 from the last alone. Nisarg Patel will come to the middle. The pretty early for Patel to come to the middle, given the fact that you look at his role for the USA team. He bats around 7 and 8, but can finish innings off for them. But for his team, the Master Blasters, comes in at number 4. Another one of those players like Nachavalka who won't be there for the majority of the season.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad option for him to come in. I think it's, you know, he maneuvers the ball pretty well around the ground. You know, he's going to be able to, but yeah, he's a guy that kind of just has to get into his innings a little bit. So it's going to be tough for him to just kind of come in in a 20-over game if it's past the 16th over or so. So this is not a bad position for him, I think. He's kind of coming in. He can give it a bit of time, work the ball around, and then, you know, when he gets going, can hit a ball.
So work to be done for the Master Blasters. A lot on Murno Patel. Continues. I actually thought Oh Muk Chan may have gone to this option a bit earlier. He has the off spin of Pranay Suri to the left-handed Murno Patel. We saw him take 13 runs from Srinivas Raghavan's last over. You want to play matchups in T20 cricket, but he brought him on and got the crucial wicket of Cody Shetty. Looking to up the ante. Shetty, you can see they're really disappointed that he didn't get that all the way over the rope for 6. Mid-wicket is a smaller boundary.
Yeah, I thought he might have had a look at him as well. He's probably only the second ball that he's faced from him, just to see what it's doing, see what the surface is and how it's reacting to him. Credit to Suri, he's bowled really well there to pick up the big wicket.
Bowling around the wicket as well to the right-handed Nisarg Patel. Looking to push the ball across the right-hander. Down the leg side, that's been hit and should get runs. Probably missed out on a certain boundary scoring option. Patel, and only a single as well. Ends a good over though for the Valley Strikers. They get the wicket that they wanted. 59 was 60 now for 2. Do you think if there was one partnership that had to win this game for the Hollywood Master Blasters, still 121 runs away, would be this? So 121 needed from the 11 overs. And it's going to be more spin into the attack. The captain has gone to himself. The man with the golden arm, Oh Muk Chan, haven't seen him bowl too often. He's gone to himself looking for the spin option.
Yeah, I like this. Skipper comes on, nice part of time of the game. Get himself a few overs in. Through it. He seems to be getting through it pretty quickly as well.
I think it could be because you have Murno Patel well set at the other end, the left-hander. Want to try to take the ball away from him, but not a big spin of the ball. Oh Muk Chan in the times that we have seen him bowl in those first 2 deliveries as well. Just seemed like he pushed very quickly. Let's see how he goes now to the left-handed Patel.
It's going to be interesting, Mrinal, how he faces him here, because he knows he has to score. They have to score to get in him a bit of a part-time bowler. Sorry, Inmak.
Starts well, though. This is a good over, as you said. Gets through the over very quickly. Look at that. There's a clear impetus to go through the overs quickly, and sometimes you just rush the batter when you're able to get through deliveries so quickly. Comes down Mrinal Patel, but it will fall well short of that fielder at long on. Just be another single. Quality stuff from the captain. 94 with the bat. Why not have a ball as well?
Come on, lads.
Yeah, and I think it's a good, obviously puts the pressure off their pace bowlers when at this time of the game.
It also talks about this nature of the surface. I think it is a bit slow. We have seen the spinners, especially that are very slow through the air, get a lot of purchase. So Unmuk Chan going to himself, and so far the plan has worked. Just 3 runs conceded in the over thus far. And would you believe it? What a stunner that is! Unmuk Chan, the unorthodox option works for the Silicon Valley Strikers. He takes the crucial wicket of Mrinal Patel, just plucks it out the air. What a catch that is from Chan, the man that does it all.
Yeah, I think it was obviously a different. Like Mrinal would have to have known he's got to go after him as a part-timer, so it's in his head. He thought he'd just try to get it over. Fantastic times the jump perfectly.
What a catch, acrobatic at its best. From a man that just, mind you, scored 94 with the bat in hand. Got to look at that again when we return. End of the over though, 63 for 3.
Come on, lads.
Well, the unsung hero, Unmuk Chan, Zubin, into the attack. We questioned the move at first, but boy, did it work. Just 3 runs from the first 5 deliveries, and then took a wicket in his very last. Pranay Suri, the off-spinner, so off-spin from both ends. Just be another single. That won't hurt the Silicon Valley Strikers too badly at this stage. Here's a look at it again. Wow. Just fired in, and Mrinal Patel wanted to take him on. They had just gotten 3 runs up from the over. Remember, they need to score over 10. And in the end, plucked out of the air. This is good bowling. Good, tight bowling from the Valley Strikers, playing the situation well.
They don't have to do too much. In all honesty, it's just getting the ball, bowling to one side of the field, bowl to their fielders. It's up to the blasters now to make it happen. Pressure's on them to get scoring.
Looking to cut. This is a good bowling from both Chan and Pranay Suri in tandem. Both off spinners haven't looked to do too much. Just been very quick through the air. Been very hard to score. Patel goes over the top. No real elevation on it. Just goes down to trickles to cover.
They just have to be careful here not to just give the game away. You just got to get, you never know if you can get between 10 and 15 in the last 3 or 4 overs. A couple boundaries. Like you said, we saw in the first innings. Suri coming in here.
Straight to extra cover. Won't be a single. So a dot to end the over. Another good over from Pranay Suri. They're getting to them quickly. End of 11, 66 for 3.
My son, he's so soft-spoken. Everyone says he's so good-looking, and he never forgets to call.
Hi, Mom. Born for your true self. The 2022 Tundra. Toyota. Let's go places.
What got into you?
At Sunoco, we know how to fuel peak performance. Fuel your best.
So Umuk Chan, the captain, if you're now joining us, you're seeing correctly. He's not only bowling, but he's also got a wicket to his name in his very first over, taking the crucial blow of Mrunal Patel.
Man with the golden arm today.
So since that wicket, Karan Viradia's come to the middle. Nisar Patel's been happy with her run out. Indecision. Viradia was very slow to take off. Nisar Patel wanted a single, and in the end, Gary Graham, easy throw to Umuk Chan. It was an excellent piece of fielding. That's what caused the indecision by Gary Graham. And things going from bad to worse for the Hollywood Master Blasters.
Yeah, just strikers seem to be, that's why they're the reigning champions. Just disciplined stuff, good pickup. Oh, fantastic effort there.
We'll talk about the athleticism we've seen by the strikers. First the catch from Umuk Chan in the last over, and now that from Gary Graham. Made a full diving stop, and which sort of threw the Master Blasters off guard. End of Viradia, 67 for 3. Hamad Saeed comes to the middle. Umuk Chan making things happen. Zubin took a wicket in his first over, now inflicting the run out.
Yeah, it's oftentimes like that. You know, the cream rises to the top. Key players, they come good in the tough situations and when they need to win, and obviously he's done that here. Just able to get the runs in the first innings with the batting, and now just taking a good catch off his own bowling, putting himself on, and a nice little run out here too. Set a bridge too far now.
The main thing and why they've been so successful is that they've just kept the boundary scoring to a minimum. No real boundaries hit in the innings so far. Just the 3 boundaries and a 6 from Mrunal Patel. But everyone else has really struggled. Cody Shetty showed some bit of impetus, but then was dismissed crucially by Pranesh Suri 2 overs ago. Need some momentum to go their way. Nisar Patel have to, you think, take this game on if they want to get anywhere close to this. 113 still needed. Well, here's that bit of athleticism we saw earlier. This is what really started the attack from the Valley Strikers. Look at that, plucks it out the air. Gorgeous piece of fielding from Umuk Chan. Ends the over at the end of 12. 70 for 4.
Not only is his bowl even good, it's just a catch here.
Now we also saw this run out from Gary Graham. Full stretch diving and completely threw Karan Viradia off. He thought it would have been a comfortable one down the ground, but Gary Graham had other ideas. Great piece of fielding. That's how sometimes you need to get into games. Got to bring the energy in the field. Boy, have they done that. Suri to continue.
Yeah, they talk about wickets in pairs and what that does to a team. You know, it's tough to lose 2 wickets at a pair. It's always look at the score, and if you tack on 2 wickets, what does that look like in the score? And if you know, that 70 for 2 is vastly different from 70 for 4.
Sorry, it's actually not Pranesh Suri, it's Srinivas Bhavan, who will come back into the attack for the Silicon Valley Strikers.
This is a good move here for him. Raghavani's bowl, a nice high action.
His first 2 overs were a bit expensive, went for 20, but now with those fielders outside the circle, 5 allowed out, should be a lot more economical.
Yeah, certainly, and he's in a good position now too.
You can see
pressure is on.
Conventional long on, long off, outside the circle, cover, deep mid-wicket as well. Those are his 5.
Gotta say, it's a lovely setting. Woodley Park's my first time here. I've heard a lot about it. Got to meet the ground staff, and some of the people in the area. It's a nice, definitely a nice little setting. A few other grounds behind it. Some tree lines. Yeah, just with the side screens that we put up yesterday. Looking really nice. Sorry, just not getting that one through.
Nice, Rini. Keep coming, boys. Keep coming, lads.
I was saying earlier with Unmak, not only was he, he's not a big spinner of the ball, but he gets through the overs, and what that does as a batting team. Single down the ground for Nisarg. What that does to the batting is that it speeds up, and before you know it, you're getting through your overs, and you have to, you've gone through 2 or 3 overs without maybe going at 5s or something like that, and that puts pressure on again. And I think, credit to Unmak, who's done that well. He's just kind of said, all right, now's a good time. They've lost a couple wickets. Then he came on, got a wicket. Just get through your overs pretty quickly, and I think that's good cricket. You can see the wicket keeper as well, just getting through the overs.
End of another good over from the Silicon Valley Strikers. Just 4 runs from it, 74 for 4.
I like this move. The old skipper giving himself 3 on the trot. The old alpha moves, as you do when you're a skipper. And he scored 94 in the first innings. Not out.
Well, listen to this. Before this, in his professional career, in 120 list day games, he would have taken 6 wickets. He's never bowled in a professional T20. Unmuk Chan goes over the top. In 79 T20s played by Unmuk Chan, obviously a man who would have played in various IPLs, etc. Never taken a wicket, never bowled a ball in T20 cricket, so always a first. He's backing himself.
Yeah, I know those types. Always bowling in the net. Always asking the captains to get him on there. Now he has the opportunity. Whoa.
Short, just too short, and a rare miss from Unmuk Chan. Put away. Need a lot more of that. The Hollywood Master Blasters, if they want to get close to this 181.
Yeah, just dragged down a little bit there, I think. Credit to the batter just to pick the length and put it over the top. It has to. There's things that have to happen at this stage of the game. Side. Just picked up that. Just got Unmak to the old double teapots. Hands on his waist. He's bowling so well, now he's just giving up a 6.
And by my records, didn't bowl a single delivery in the 2021 season, Unmuk Chan. But what a master stroke this has been from the captain. Yes, he's been struck for that boundary, but to pick up a wicket, the crucial wicket of Mrunal Patel for 34 at a time where he was already looking to up the ante. You think if he was able to get it to maybe a half century, take the game deep, it could be a completely different scenario. He plucks it out the air, then in the next over inflicts a run out, and all of a sudden Silicon Valley Strikers well on top and well on their way to win their first game in this minor league championship. Goes over extra cover this time, but again, fielding in the deep. Primus is a good field at long off. Got a good arm as well. Just keeps it to 1 run. Excellent stuff from the Valley Strikers in the field.
This is good stuff for the Strikers here from Unmak, but equally nice to see side seems to be, throwing the bat at it a little bit and showing a bit of positive intent.
Just a single. That won't hurt. That won't hurt the cause of the Silicon Valley Strikers at all. And in these last 3 overs, just 14 runs scored when you're chasing 181. Can't be good. The required rate continues to surge, gone to 15.5 and over from here on in. They do have wickets in hand, you expect, though. You wonder, when will Nisarg Patel have to up the ante and have to go for it? End of 14 overs, getting down to the business end of the innings, 85 for 4. 6 overs remain in this contest. Still 96 runs needed. And if you missed the first innings, well, it was the Unmuk Chan show. Basically, this entire match has been about him. 94 from 65 balls for Chan. And also a wicket to go with it. Can't get it past the fielder, so Rakhavan continuing. Comes down the track, gone. Rahul Jariwala behind the stumps makes no mistake, and it was much slower from Srinivas Rakhavan, lured him into that shot and then beat him the outside edge. Another wicket falls for the Hollywood Master Blasters, in serious trouble now at 85 for 5.
Yeah, this is the sad truth about T20 cricket. If you want to win, you have to take a few risks in getting out there. It's just a good length delivery too. Nice work there by Jariwala at the back.
Came down the track, got nowhere close to the pitch of that ball. Sahid is gone for a short 13. And now the Master Blasters, they'll need a miracle from here if they're to win it. 85 for 5.
Yeah, massive uphill battle here for Master Blasters at this stage. He's struggling to just stay afloat at this point.
So the new batter to the crease, Maddy Reddy, comes with international experience as well into this Hollywood Master Blasters. Venukulayan Maddy Reddy would have played for this team last season, 13 wickets in 13 matches. Not known so much for his batting exploits. Here's the wicket again, just luring him down the track, getting the stumping. Another dot delivery. It was much slower and good bowling from Srinivas Rakhavan, who again, remember, was under pressure, conceded 20 in his first 2 since just 5 runs since Unmuk Chan has brought him back into the attack. Been much more comfortable in the middle phases of this innings.
Yeah, having a few wickets in the tank helps. Pressure's on. His lengths are actually quite good. He's fairly flat and gets a bit of turn on this wicket.
Well, that would be a boundary for Nisarg Patel. Only a matter of time before something had to give. And just a bit too full from Srinivas Rakhavan. Didn't need to really search for the length. He's so effective in the first 5 deliveries of this over, but just string on the wrong side. So Patel now goes to 15. And you think if they're to have any chance of getting close to this total, Zubin, it has to come from the experience of Nisarg Patel. Can he close this over out with a boundary? It must go short. Didn't get it at all. Just be 1 run. So a wicket comes in the over for the Silicon Valley Strikers, 91 for 5. Of course, Sunoco, the presenting sponsor of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Wouldn't be possible without our sponsors.
No, absolutely. Key part of the game is to get support from corporations. And fantastic to see known brands around the U.S. supporting cricket. Something you would never seen 5-10 years ago. A known corporate brand in the U.S. supporting minor league cricket, which is fantastic.
So Mohamed Irfan Jr. will come back into the attack. Just 2 overs for him up front. Caused some problems, but didn't pick up a wicket. Just conceded the 10 runs. So back at now a crucial stage of the innings, looking for that first wicket for him, but also to continue to make inroads into this Hollywood Master Blasters batting lineup.
And once again, I think it'll be challenging for Hollywood just to even have a go at this guy. He's just a tough person to pick up if you probably never faced him before. Experience, like a little bit of in there. Back of the hand, the slower ball.
His action can really trick you, Irfan Jr., but so unorthodox. Much like, as you said before, Sohail Tanvir.
Or Mohammad Irfan, to some extent.
Yeah, very true.
No relation, I'm assuming.
A lot of experience from Pakistan. Goes for the Yorker. Just doesn't get it, but a good strikers at this stage. Singles won't hurt them too bad. Needs a miracle from here in these last 5 overs for the Hollywood Master Blasters, a team that only won 2 games in the 2021 season. And they will be without one of their main players at the crease at the moment, Nisar Patel, when he leaves for USA national duty to go to those T20 World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, definitely difficult signs. Team coming off a pretty...
Another good Yorker executed. Seen pace off from Mohammad Irfan Jr. Well dug out by Nisar Patel in the end.
You need your main players available, and when they're not, it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of to compensate for them.
Yeah, just 3 singles conceded in to start the over. Look at it again. A good Yorker executed by Irfan Jr. Somehow Nisar Patel gets the bat down in time. Well, inside edge pass, the keeper is going to run into the boundary for 4. And Maddy Reddy, doesn't matter how they come at this stage.
Take them any which way you'd like. Take any of that. Doesn't matter where they come from. Inside edge, straight back, off the helmet. We'll take it all at this stage. Just strikers just squeezing them to make something happen.
Well, he was the leading wicket taker, joint leading wicket taker last season, Maddy Reddy. But today now needs to play a massive role with the bat in hand for his team, the Hollywood Master Blasters. Not a lot of batting to come. You look at the list in terms of what they have left. Another addition who they're without today, Brindley Richards, also from that San Diego Surf Riders team. Another good all-round option who fits into the top order. They'll need him as the season progresses. Not playing today. This one straight back by Nisar Patel. But there is that Primus at long off. Important. He took 11 wickets and also was able to score 146 runs last season. I think whenever he comes in, especially with the absence of Patel, he will need to be an important contributor for them. 100 comes up in the over at the end of 16, 100 for 5.
One, two, three.
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
The 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. If you're now joining us, what a day of cricket we've had so far. And it's far from finished. Second game coming to you later today. The up against the Grizzlies, the Golden State Grizzlies, the team that went very far in last year's edition, topped the Western Conference. They'll be in action coming to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Saurabh Chavalka, the USA international bowler, back into the attack. 6 runs and a wicket in his first 2 overs. Boy, was he effective. Back to his bread and butter, just keeps it so simple. Now at the time, looking to close the innings out.
Yeah, there's just something to be said about somebody who can just hit the areas consistently. I gotta say, I think he's put on a bit of pace as well. It's probably been hit in the gym.
You would have watched him for a long time, actually bowling on his teammate, Nisarg Patel, and he'll get a boundary. Patel goes the length. Nachavalka, so predictable sometimes because of that consistency on a good length, and Nisarg Patel deep in his crease, making the most of that vacant onside region.
Yeah, this is nicely picked up, actually. Not a bad delivery, to be honest, but equally to the task as Nisarg's just pulled that one nicely. Could be a little touch, a little bit fuller. Obviously coming back, he hasn't bowled the first spell. Coming back for his second. Needs to just get his radar right. But again, plenty of runs to play with.
Probably just the line the problem there to Nisarg Patel. Much better. That's exactly where he wants to be when it's on a 4th or 5th stump line. Then makes it very difficult to score boundaries with a pat offside. How much of Nachavalka would you have faced, Zubin?
I haven't faced him at all, in all honesty. I've seen a lot of him, actually, as I work with the ICC Americas. I've seen him playing for US over the course of time, and I've seen him kind of develop. He obviously played for India under 19s. You know, just a good disciplined cricketer. He loves the game, definitely pushes hard, and like I said, I think he's been hitting the gym, which is just getting a few yards in there. There you go.
Well, it's a wicket for Nachavalkar. And a bit of extra bounce, a bit of extra pace, and a good catch from the keeper, Rahul Jariwala, who takes a 6 for the Silicon Valley Strikers, and is that man again in the wickets, Mr. Reliable. Nachavalkar strikes.
Just bent his back a little bit here. Got the shoulder just at the last. The ball just got up through. Nicely bowled by him. Good take by the keeper as well.
So Matty Reddy departs for just 7, 105 for 6.
This innings just getting away from the blasters. Just tough. It really is tough to chase 180 on any kind of, even on a good surface. Not one that has a bit of challenge in it. Saw in the first inning it was challenging even for Unmukt, big inning, but was able to get 5 sixes. I always found that's you know, T20 cricket. If you can hit a couple sixes in your innings, it's definitely takes the pressure going at a run a ball. You can always seem to catch up if you can get three to five sixes in the innings.
Of course, the 2022 Toyota Minor League presented by Sunoco. So happy to have DAFA News on board. You can get all your live cricketing updates as well as global news on that platform, DAFA News. So the new batter in for the Master Blasters, Timur Patel, the leg spinner. Not the tallest of men, Timur Patel. Especially from here, Zubin.
He's not winning any height competitions, the old boy, but he's an experienced guy. Tough customer, actually plays pretty hard. You know, he's quite handy with the bat. I don't think T20 is necessarily his strong point, but he's navigated that ball nicely. If he's just kind of let it come onto the bat and got off strike.
Again, another effort delivery from Nachavalkar. He's appealing and he's gone. Nisarg Patel, he can't believe it, but he's got to go. And Nachavalkar, that one will feel a bit extra special because he's taken his USA teammate. And now you think the final nail in the coffin for the Hollywood Master Blasters. Patel walking back for 24.
Yeah, another effort ball by him. I really like that from him. He's just been able to get it, banging it a little bit harder.
Did that brush the shoulder on the way through? I think that's what Nisarg Patel was telling the umpire, but in the end, the umpire opting to send him. Crucial part of the play, passage of play, correction. 24, Patel. It's 106 now for 7. And now things really going from bad to worse. Nachavalkar struck twice in the over. So Daluwate, the new batter, in. And you would think with 23 runs needed now, Zubin, pretty much impossible with two lower order batters in to get the runs from this stage. But good delivery from Nachavalka again. Very important will be the run rate. You want to get up close. It's a long season. The net run rate will be another crucial part. End of the 17th over. 2 wickets fall in that over for the Silicon Valley Strikers. The Blasters 106 for 7. And we'll take a look at that wicket again from Nachavalka. He bowled to his teammate Nisar Patel. Did that brush the shoulder on the way through, Zubin?
Yeah, I feel so. And if you can just take the reaction from the keeper, not much of an appeal there from him.
And you can see Nisar Patel as well. Instantly shifted his helmets. Was extremely disappointed when he was given out, but he had to walk. So Nisar Patel with a important contribution for his team, 24, but in the end not enough. Less than a, well, more than a run a ball, 24 from 26 deliveries. And you look at the scorecard for the Master Blasters, Zubin. They had starts. Mrunal Patel got 34 at the top of the order. Cody Shetty got 20. Nisar Patel with 24, but no one really able to kick on like we saw from Unmuk Chan. You need one player to really put their hand up and bat through the innings, especially on what has been a tough surface.
Yeah, and mostly run a ball stuff without the kick on of sixes. It's just a challenging game to chase 180 runs on a wicket that's doing a bit. Game got away from them, and I think the strikers have just been that.
So Dev Tadani into the attack. A bit late that we've seen him, but I think now Unmuk Chan may be looking for the future of this tournament, and his team may want to give Tadani some overs under his belt, get some confidence, get his confidence up.
Yeah, absolutely. There hasn't been a lot of match play, I suspect, as a team. Ball just gets struck into the offside. There should be 2 runs.
My son, he's so... My son.
Apologies for that technical glitch. So Tadani, like this move though, a young player, one of your under 21 players, Unmuk Chan wants in a win, just to get some confidence under his belt. If he can maybe close up with 1 or 2 wickets here, it'd be even better for when you have the likes of Nachavalka and others leaving for international duty.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's about your bench strength as well. And they don't get experience unless you actually get a chance to get going in the game. So I think it's a good move. Agreed. Get him some time in the middle. Get his feet running on turf.
Must say though, I'm very surprised that Tadani was actually given a nod over Kulvinder Singh. Even though you have Irfan Jr. and Nachavalka, it's an interesting one. Kulvinder Singh is someone that I think is so lethal with the new ball. He showed you towards the end of the season in 2021. But they opted to go for Tadani, I think, because of the extra batting that he provides. Interesting, though. Tomorrow we'll see if Kulvinder Singh comes back into the lineup in their game against SoCal Lashings.
Yeah, I think it's also probably a body management tool. You know, Kulvinder a little bit on the latter side of 30. Just want to make sure that he's just being managed pretty well. Sohrab going away for national duties, obviously going to put a bit of strain on the bowling department.
Yeah, he was a late addition in the 2021 season. Just 9 matches for Singh, where he was able to take 13 wickets. 3 of those came in the final of that 2021 season. And it's been a good over so far, though, from Dev Tadani. Just 4 runs come from it. They're 2 overs away from picking up their first victory in this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. It's 110 correction for 7. So the bowling cards, you can see Plenty of options used for Unmuk Chan, including himself, where he picked up a wicket. But it's been a good all-round performance by both the seamers and the spinners. They've complemented each other well. It's been a great performance with the ball in hand. After being asked to bat first. Probably right for the so.
Just Sarab, just back on the same lengths. Just excellent stuff to just keep hitting that top of off stump. Bowling very straight. I don't think he's bowled too many balls outside off stump today even. Too many that are fifth stump, almost even fourth, or just off stump, just been that accurate. Excellent bowling again. Is that another wicket? Wow, fantastic. It's his fourth.
Yeah, caught that slip, and this has been Saurabh Netravalkar's day. Right from the onset, he was just so simple and consistent on that good length, and it's paid dividends. He's operated with that slip throughout the innings. It's good captaincy as well. And in the end, this time, Pranay Suri takes a good low catch. And it's the fourth for Saurabh Netravalkar. What a day he's having.
Excellent areas again. He's just really just been relentless in his lengths. Line and length, just impeccable. Just forcing batters to play something unorthodox or not even be able to fend it off. Excellent stuff by him. He's really shown himself to be a good, strong leader in this group.
So a big wicket for Netravalkar. He'd be searching for that 5-wicket haul as well. He does have 4 deliveries to pick that up. What a start it's been. He'll be a big loss to them, Zubin, you think, when he does leave for USA international duty after this weekend.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part about this tournament. Obviously a domestic tournament with national players involved. I think it's a good thing to see. You know, it gives an opportunity for some of the other players that are not noticeable to give an opportunity to perform. So I think it's quite good.
Yeah, it'll be a big, massive void for this team, even though, yes, it's a good opportunity. At the end of the day, you want to win as many games as possible. Doesn't do them any favors the fact that he does have international duty. Desai comes to the crease. Ayan Desai, who would have opened the bowling for the Master Blasters. And Netravalkar, boy, will he be needing that 5th wicket. Not only for this tournament, but it'll do his confidence a world of good to go into international duty on the back of a 5-wicket haul to begin the 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. Just feel maybe the fact that he's looking for that 5th wicket. Yes, you want to bring that slip in place. He's so good at hitting that good length. Should he maybe be a bit straighter, target the stumps, especially to lower order batters?
Yeah, he probably could. I think it's just the first ball he's bowled to a left-hander, I would think. You know, he's just been that consistent to the right-hander. Probably just, you know, take a ball or so to get his radar just absolutely right. It wasn't a bad ball, absolutely. But I think you're right. Just maybe trying to hit the stumps or getting them to play one step closer. I think this one's going to be exactly where you'd expect it.
Well, there it is on the stumps, and it's 5. 5 for the man with the golden arm. Saurabh Netravalkar, take a bow. Right from the very first over, he's been superb swinging the ball away from the right-hander and then bringing the slip into play. This time, though, no other fielders needed. He does the job himself, crashes into the stumps for his 5th.
And exactly what you mentioned. You know, just got a little bit wide. The last one and this one just dead straight. Fantastic delivery. Just played all around it. Too good for him.
Well, it really was a tremendous piece of bowling, and he deserved that 5th wicket. Now the 2nd time in the innings he's picked up 2 in an over. When you think about the brilliant performances of Unmuk Chan first with the bat in hand, then Netravalkar, your experienced players really stepping up in this Toyota MLC presented by Sunoco. So the final wicket, Janat Patel, will come to the middle. What about 6, Zubin? Forget 5. Still got 2 deliveries remaining, Netravalkar.
I'm going 6 here. And then the pressure's on for man of the match. Who do you got?
Ooh, whoever's choosing that, good luck to them, because
94 is not 100. And 6 wickets or 5 wickets is a big deal. Unmuk's going to be backing himself with his wicket and the catch.
It's all about the control. He just has the ability to put the ball wherever he wants. Very rare do you see an error in terms of the line. Has to go full at the stumps. He does that, but Janat Patel finds a way to keep it out, and he gets a single as well. So 1 delivery remaining. Najavalka will do anything to get a 6 wicket here. You have to really credit, though, the seam of Najavalka coming in, being able to take 5 wickets in the very first game of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Sunoco. And I'll tell you what, he better be on the face of DAFA News by this evening. The performance by both Najavalka and Chan has set up the Silicon Valley Strikers, defending champions in the minor league, to pick up their first win in the 2022 edition. In the air, straight up. Could this be the 6th? A fielder underneath, and would you believe it, it goes over the rope. It was so close to being a 6th. For Najavalka, it's going to be a boundary, actually, and 2 men converge, and no one takes the catch.
What an opportunity to pull off a stunner on the boundary and give him his 6th. Saurabh's got to have a word to those boys at the end of the game. What I'm trying to do here, guys, I'm trying to get a man of the match or the skipper.
Extremely anticlimactic finish to the 19th over. He was looking for a wicket. Instead, he was pummeled for a boundary. Could have possibly been taken. 115 for 9 after 19 overs. Here was a look again at the last delivery of the over. Should have really been taken. 2 men come under it, but they left it for each other. No communication.
I didn't think Cheyenne wanted too much of that, to be fair. It's a man coming in. I go for 4.
Yeah, he went for a boundary, as signaled in the end by the umpire. So Irfan Jr. is going to bowl the final over. Appeal, but height may have been a problem. Janat Patel opting to keep the strike as well. Number 11 batter, that's pretty brave decision by him in this Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship. You have to credit the all-round performance, though, Zubin, of the Silicon Valley Strikers. They didn't panic when they got off to a slow start, put 180 on the board, and followed up superbly with the ball in hand.
Yeah, and you said it exactly that. There's a reason why they're the last year's champions, and if you come with a bit of adversity or the wicket's not exactly as you expected, they lost the toss and got put in, and managed to score 180 on a challenging surface. So all credit to them. They played. I don't think they could have played any better, to be fair. They've been pretty good in the field, built partnerships. I mean, their bowling's been very disciplined, so credit to them.
Big swing and a miss, and they better get a lot of spices after this game from Lakshmi, their official sponsor, of course, of the Silicon Valley Strikers, because this serves everything: spices, cake. You don't want to get too carried away. It's only the first game of the season, but you have to credit the dominance by this successful team.
Absolutely, got to celebrate the wins. Got to celebrate the wins. And if there's a bit of Lakshmi in there, Biryani's in the rest, definitely, they've earned it.
Especially in that heat, I can tell you, this temperature is getting close to 100 on the West Coast. Irfan Jr. is going to have to rebowl that one. But they're just 3 deliveries away now from victory. Valley Strikers in a first game to start like this. What does it do to the confidence of the overall team?
Yeah, I think it just comes off. It's an impressive win as well. It wasn't just a scratchy win. It's a very impressive win. Sets a tone for the season, which I think is great. You have somebody coming in and have an opportunity to start the campaign off, the 2022 campaign again in winning form.
Again, another looking for that wicket. You could tell we'll have it Irfan Jr. going the Yorker.
Yeah, I'm actually quite impressed. He's for a guy who has that type of action to be consistently kind of hitting those. I was noticing it earlier. Hitting the Yorker lengths consistently, which I think is an underrated ball in T20s. They don't use it enough, but he's probably hit 5 or 6 in the block, as they say. It's fantastic.
Final delivery by Irfan Jr. and it ends with just a single. But it will mean that, we have one more delivery, it seems. So Irfan Jr. has one more opportunity to look for the wicket. Boy, will he want that. He's bowled well, though, in his first game of this minor league. First game in the United States, I believe, as well, at this professional level. So I think he's adjusted well. Good slower ball. Even that can't get the wicket, so it'll just be a single. But the Silicon Valley Strikers will pick up the first win on the Western Conference of this 2022 Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco by some 63 runs. It was a dominant performance, first with the bat, then followed up with the ball in hand. And you have to say, this team picking up right where they left off, Zubin, with a win in the first game of this tournament.
Absolutely. What a great way to start your 2022 campaign. Good, in fact, and a good contribution from all the players. They'd be really happy with this. Good start to their season.
So only 117 managed by the Hollywood Master Blasters. And you can see in the end, just too much. The Silicon Valley Strikers, the bowling lineup for them, it was just too much for the Master Blasters. They got a couple starts. Murno Patel at the top of the order until he was dismissed from a superb catch by the captain, Unmuk Chan. Starts for Cody Shetty, Nisarg Patel as well. But in the end, no real momentum, no rhythm in the innings, and a couple of partnerships here and there, but nothing enough. And the same problems returning for the Hollywood Master Blasters.
Yeah, exactly that. Now just look at the bowling scorecard for the Silicon Valley Strikers. Obviously, the standout performer, Saurabh Netralkar, 4 overs for 17, 5 wickets. Srinivas, 1 wicket, 30 runs off the 4. And Pranam, his 2 overs. And of course, Unmuk Chan, 3 overs. Fantastic little effort, 18 runs off his 3 overs, 1 wicket.
Well, there you have it. It's been an all-round dominant performance from the Silicon Valley Strikers. First posting 180 for 4. Unmuk Chan with then following it up with an all-round bowling performance. Nachavalka, the highlight, with 5 for
Took that last corner pretty quick.
Sir, I need 1 hand on the roof, 1 hand on the pump.
Timeout for Sunoco Go Rewards.
Keep pumping.
With new Sunoco Go Rewards, when you fuel, you save, because rewards come first.
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
वक्त आ गया है लक्ष्मी बासमती राइस को। वक्त आ गया है बासमती राइस को घर लाने का। लक्ष्मी एक्स्ट्रा लॉन्ग बासमती राइस। इसका हर दाना हो इतना लंबा, पकते हुए महके और प्लेट पे क्या खूब खिले।
हाँ, तेरे घर लाने का।
1, 2, 3. behind it. Yeah.
Just a recap of the game. So there's 180 for 4 in their 20 overs. $180 for 80 for 4. Umak Chand the standout, 94 runs. Followed by 20 Shan Jaisuria, 24. Rishan Primus, 26 off 10.
Go backward, please. Bring you backward. Go backward.
For the bowling for the
everybody in the sun. Everybody.
Hollywood Blasters. No real standouts. Just one wicket for Desai. Another wicket for Said.
Sorry.
One for Nisarg Patel.
This is good.
The follow, 117 for 9. Never really getting a start there. I'm going to head over to the presentation department now.
Test here with Unmuk Chan, the captain. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Well, here with the winning captain, Unmuk Chan. Unmuk, 63-run victory for yourself. Before we even get into your personal performance, you must feel really good to start the tournament in a winning way.
Absolutely. I think the way we played in this game in all the 3 departments, batting, bowling, as well as fielding, I think it was perfect. So a perfect start for us. So, you know, and I think it's going to give a lot of confidence to the boys. So really looking forward to this tournament in the next games which are coming our way.
Tell me about your personal performance. You started a bit slow in terms of the surface and the power play, but then really kicked on as the innings went on. What was key for you in terms of making that switch?
Well, the wicket wasn't very good to bat on. I mean, it was cracking a little, and the ball was coming slowly onto the bat. So I think it was important for us to adjust. And then, once we sort of got a feel of the wicket, that's when we accelerated as well. The good thing is we didn't lose too many early wickets, so that really helped us have that extra edge at the end, and we could make up for all the lost runs initially. But I think it was a great switch from myself as well as the other people who came in, like Roshan came in nicely, as well as Gary, the way they came in, and Shehan, I mean, the way they chipped in, I think really helped the way I was playing.
Tell me about the master stroke with the ball in hand. Now, 10th over, we saw you bring yourself into the attack, took the crucial wicket of Mrunal Patel. What about that, the theory behind that one?
Well, obviously we saw that it was difficult to play the spin as the ball was coming slowly onto the bat and spinning as well. So I thought that it's a good time to bowl. Plus lefty was batting, so I really backed myself and thought that I can sort of contain some runs, and eventually got a wicket as well.
Finally, a word on Saurabh Netravalkar, 5 wickets for him. Just the luxury of having a bowler at the international quality of Netravalkar at your disposal.
Well, I mean, he has been exceptional. Whenever he plays for us, we have that extra edge in terms of our bowling is concerned, and also, he helps me quite a lot in the field as well. So I think the way he bowled today was what Saurabh always does. So I mean, it's great to have 5 wickets in a T20. It's always difficult, and really appreciate the way he sort of comes in every time and gives in his 100%.
Congrats once again. Looking forward to seeing what your team can do in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Unmuk Chan, the winning captain of this Silicon Valley Strikers team, who pick up a 63-run victory in the very first game of this minor league in terms of the Western Conference. We're going to have a look at some highlights now in terms of what it did so well. The Silicon Valley Strikers with the ball in hand. It was all about the Saurabh Netravalkar show, where he came in, took the first wicket on a good length, operated there pretty much throughout the innings, and his 5 wickets really was one of the main reasons why they were able to restrict that Master Blasters team to 117. A couple of good shots from Mrunal Patel in the power play, who got a start and was a good addition for the Master Blasters. Cody Shetty, the two put on a 48-run partnership, but it just wasn't enough to really stem the flow of scoring up to the 10 runs and over that they needed. couple of good cuts from Cody Shetty as well. Was able to find the boundary. Roshan Primus was expensive, and Mrunal Patel enjoyed the threat of the extra space on the ball. That was a glorious extra cover drive into the gap. But this is where the innings began to unfold, where the captain Unmuk Chan went to his spinners, brought them into the attack. That was the wicket of Cody Shetty, looking to take on the left arm spin, and that was Chan with an acrobatic piece of fielding, plucking it out of the air. And from there on in, momentum was on the side of the Silicon Valley Strikers. A really cheap mix-up in terms of a run-out. Good fielding from Gary Graham meant that they would lose their fourth in quick succession. And from there on in, it was the Silicon Valleys who just took it over. Good bowling from Srinivas Raghavan to get that stumping. And this is a performance that they'll take for a long time in terms of in the rest of this tournament. It'll do a lot for the confidence of their seamers. Sarvna Chavalka, talk about this man. Fresh out of international duty, picking it right where he left off. He'll be a massive miss when he does leave. Got the crucial wicket of Nisar Patel for 24, his USA cricket teammate. And then, final nail in the coffin, his fifth, straight at the stumps, on the money, took the wicket. And in the end, the Silicon Valley Strikers, dominant in all facets of the game. Really fantastic performance by them. What a first game it's been in this Western Conference of the 2022 Toyota Minor League Championships. We've already had a blockbuster action from the defending champions, winning this one by 63 runs. Don't go anywhere, because at 2:30 p.m. time, local Pacific time, we'll have the SoCal Lashings up against the Golden State Grizzlies. See you then.
You're watching the Toyota Minor League Cricket Championship, presented by Sunoco.